this any further.
Hey, yep, okay, didn't cold open myself on that one.
Pretty damn close,
Oh
though.
yeah, awkward. Just trying to bring in the smiles coming into Thursday. Hi TPK.
Chaos. Hi TPK.
Welcome back to Tyranny of Dragons, Queen's Gambit, the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. Coming in hot with the words are hard already. I'm that Magic Juice. I am a shepherd of sorts, and this is my lovely Clouder. We are down one tonight. Niff will not be able to join us, but Corndog will be piloting their character Eliseo, and they will be back with us soon. So, with that, let's go around the table real quick and introduce ourselves, introduce our characters, and then we will recap last time and get right into it.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's me, Sir Heckalot. Tonight, as per usual, I will be playing Aster, the Circle of Wildfire Shifter Druid. Now it's Hyacinth.
Oh, it's me. Panic. Hiya, it's me, Hyacinth. Sorry, gay panic. I am playing the Elven Bardlock. Yep, that's me. Who's next?
It's me, twin number one. Hello, everyone. I am Corndog McGraw. I will be playing Juno, the Pallid Elf Cleric. Took me a second to remember what that word was. And I'll pass it over to Chrissy.
Hey guys, it's Chrissy, and I will be playing Ulta, our Ranger Kobold.
All right. Multitasking is difficult. Okay, here we go. So last time we were here, we began just after a scene of conflict at the docks inside Waterdeep. We had just taken out some bandits that were trying to break into a small hut that we learned is occupied by someone named Grinda Garloth. In conversing with her, you learned that the bandits were from the Xanathar Guild and they were coming after her for a special stone, which is rumored to reveal the location of a special hidden vault that we are trying to find before the Zentrum and now the Xanathar Guild. We also learned that she had come from the guild herself and decided to defect after some fun memory things that have been happening to her. She had gotten the feeling that she should not, in fact, hand over this stone as she was originally tasked to do. So, she also lets us know that she had sent off the stone with her little rat familiar to the mausoleum of her family in the City of the Dead. And that's where we head off next while she takes the last surviving attacker. You left several just asleep instead of fight to the death, and basically just like take them away so that they can't bother you guys anymore. What else? We go to lost my place. Hold please. There we are. We go off to find this tomb, and when we do, we realize that another gazer is following us and watching us. Juno, I believe, did some fun, sneaky, invisible things and scared it away. But then upon checking out the tomb, you all find nothing but empty graves. Stone sarcophagi that had been opened, or at least partially opened, with nothing in them. At the end of the tomb, you find basically a scratch mark from a weapon as well as a burn mark, and no stone, nothing inside the sarcophagi, absolutely nothing inside the tomb. But you at least learn that you are ahead of on the right track and ahead of the Xanathar Guild, because several Jurgar attack you after demanding that you hand over the stone that you do not have. Hyacinth, you'll be happy to learn, if you didn't already, that you were monumentally helpful in that fight, in that you sent a warning, as intended, as the tomb's doors opened and you were not able to see who had opened them. Taking on that fight, you end up realizing that there's nothing new to glean from here other than a key that what's her name found. What's her name, guys? A pop quiz.
You mean Jim?
Jamna, yes. I don't know where I'm at right now.
It smelled bad. The key smelled bad. I remember that.
The key smells bad. Yes, indeed. Ulta and Jamna both have a person in mind who may be able to help identify what this key is for or where it's from, that sort of thing. And that's where we begin today. Anything else that we should add, guys?
That's all I got.
All right. So, if memory serves, you have just completed a long rest at your inn. What would you like to do?
I will mention the dwarven woman Elspara. Last name is disappearing quickly. She's the locksmith? Not locksmith. Locksmith?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that
I
was
thought
it.
that's what
you
Key
said.
person.
And we could head that direction. Unless we wanted to go to whoever. I think Gemna was with us, right?
She is with you, yes.
We could utilize her locksmith, whichever.
Can a locksmith tell us where the lock goes? I'm not very familiar. Or where the key goes?
We might at least be able to point us in the right direction if they've ever seen the key before or made something similar.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts to go to Elspara first, and if we don't get answers there, we can always go to the person that Jamna knows.
Sounds good. So we will head towards Elspara's locksmith shop.
Okay. That would be... Okay. Over here at the trades ward. And between the two of you, you'd be able to find it easily enough. It's not exactly a hidden thing. It's actually a well... patronized? Is that the right word? Establishment? It's frequented a lot. That's what we'll go with. And as you go in, you see a few people working and bartering, and there's a few tables that about 3 people are at, one of which is the person you're looking for, with large lenses sort of strapped onto these tables with arm-like apparatuses, and they're sort of tinkering away at locks and polishing keys and that sort of thing. And then several others walking around the shop, looking at various keys, locks, and key rings, that sort of thing.
I will walk up to Elspara. Hello.
Oh, hello. Did we establish that you know her personally, that you've met?
Nope.
We did
Just
not.
that
Okay,
I knew of them, I believe.
gotcha. Okay. Hello, how can I help you?
We have a discreet matter to discuss with you.
Am I in trouble?
Nope, but we might be.
Oh. Did you bring trouble here? And she sort of like starts looking around and checking the front door, is clearly a little concerned.
No, not that we're aware of. You, FYI, team, you guys sent the kobold with a 9 charisma. Do the talking. So
I'm not much better. I think I'm at 10.
Same. So
I
you're
can
like,
talk
okay.
good, but I'm really dumb.
all right, we'll get through this then. No danger here. Just danger for us then. Not for you.
So we should probably go to my back room then, huh?
That
Yeah.
would be yes.
I don't know what sounds worse, like the way we're like how we're talking, like how we're or the fact that she just invited us to her back room. I'd
Real
love
quick,
to go in your back room.
real quick before we go into this back room, is there anyone in this room that looks like the folks we encountered the night previous? Or anyone that has like some sort of emblem of either Xanathar or the Thieves Guilds?
Nice, good question. Make an investigation check.
I can do that on D&D Beyond. D. Investigation. Well, do our best. 10.
It's kind of difficult to tell. You're looking for like the tattoos, at least. It's kind of difficult to tell with a lot of people, with, you know, even just normal cloaks and clothing on. But at the very least, nobody seems to look like any of the exact people you had seen to this point.
Okay. Is anyone really watching us as we're in here talking about having discrete matters?
Even with a 10, it doesn't really seem like anybody's paying attention to you guys at all.
Cool.
Everybody's kind of in their own affairs.
Ulta will say, we will obviously pay you for your time and space.
Well, no need to pay me for anything unless you're purchasing something. And then she'll walk you back to a small office sort of room just behind the front counter.
Yeah, so when we go in, I will show her the key and ask her, has there any chance that you have seen anything similar to this, or would know what type of lock it unlocks?
Curious. She's going to take it from you. Give it a look. I think I just sold this the other day. But, you know, I can't just tell anybody about the people I sell my things to. Is it... Like, what's going on with this key? Why do you have it?
I'm going to look at my party and give them a solid handful of seconds of silence before I divulge our plans. So
I feel
I'm
like
going to
afterwards
wait
just starts
until
filling that out,
if somebody
so, yeah.
in the office,
Yeah, it's
Well-
we weren't exactly looking for this key. We were actually looking for something else. We were looking for like this stone or something, and that's all we found in the location that we were told this stone was in.
You were looking for a stone and found a key? Okay.
Well, we were in a crypt.
Oh. Yeah, okay. So, I'll stop you there.
With permission.
Well, that's good. But I'll stop you there. That sounds like something I don't think I want to know more about. So, why did you have permission to go to a crypt in the first place looking for a rock? And why does that bring you to me with a key?
Oh, this is a lot more complicated now that you put it that way. So,
Yeah.
The owner, the family member of this crypt, was being accosted by it, and she like kind of like leans in a little bit and just like, you know, whispers like, the Xanathar's Guild, and they were after this rock, and it's very bad if they get this rock. So we were sent to get to it before they did. But the thing is, the rock wasn't in the crypt at all, and we found this key instead, and we're not really sure what it's about.
When she mentions the Xanathar Guild, Juno just wants to take a scan of like if this lady has recognition. Like if she like responds to it in some type of way and try to vibe check a little bit.
She absolutely does react. If you would like to get details of that reaction, you can make an insight or perception check, your choice.
Insight, please. 21.
So, the context here. This druid, who looks like a druid, aka like, respectfully very hippie-esque, you know, wearing like leaves and tattered robes, I think you said, and you know,
Not like tattered, but like deer skin is not very common.
there we go. Okay, and with the rest of you guys, a small kobold, the Aasimar in the room, and the beautiful elves that are Icarus and Juno. The five of you are in this room. She's clearly confused about you guys. This druid is talking about a rock that you guys tried to find in a tomb that you got permission to go into in the first place, and now the bad guys want this rock. And until the point that Aster said Xanathar Guild, this person was looking at you like what did I get myself into? But then as soon as Aster mentions Xanathar Guild, Juno, you notice that she would like jolt for a second and then definitely start taking you seriously, and furrow her brow with this clear sense of concern. Okay, so
Juno's gonna casually, if there's any windows in this room, just go move to block them while just watching this lady.
there's one window
I block it.
that faces
either
the
with
street.
my body or with magic.
It does have a curtain, like a little draw thing. There you go. So
Also,
the
we'll pipe
Xanathar
in-
Guild. Oh, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, Ulta will pipe in. Mostly, we're trying to stay a step ahead of them. So, you know, we're like opposite team. We're the home team.
Homies.
She's gonna actually check you guys out one more time as you're saying all this stuff, and you'd all notice that she eventually starts like checking out right about here for all of you where your brooches would be, and realize that you are with various factions, and say, okay, so whatever this stone is, it's probably good that I have no idea, because if that group is after it, you're doing something dangerous.
If it makes you feel any better, we also have no idea what it even looks like. So that's pretty cool.
That's probably not helping your cause.
Nope.
It's not.
Not in the slightest.
Well, I would need to request some sort of guarantee of protection. I can tell you what this key belongs to, who this key belongs to, but I can't. Can like the Harpers or the Enclave or anybody just like keep an eye on me in my shop? Like, information business can get messy sometimes.
I mean,
I'm sure
I
we
can
can arrange
send
that.
word, but that would be more like a Harper's or possibly the Lord's Alliance kind of thing. They're a little bit more local.
Ulta will look at Juno, and we have an ability to send a message right now. We would have to limit it to a handful of words.
Like
So you
5
have-
handfuls of words.
5 handfuls of words. But yes, we have an ability to do that. And also, and she will take out like a small pouch of money and say, you know, but like if you want to take a vacation somewhere warmer for a small amount of time, we can also help with that.
Well, if the factions can help and just sort of keep an eye here, I don't think I should need to leave I just would not be able to defend myself if somebody came after me. So, and I don't want to put my employees in danger. So if they're able to help, then that wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah, I will take out my sending stone and send a one-way message to the Large Alliance that just says, what, I don't remember Elsfara's last name. Olmar?
Ulmar, yes. Ulmarr.
Elsfara Olmar has been identified as friendly, needs assistance with protection because of our current activities. Send.
Click. Okay.
Signed Ulta.
Okay. Need to think about what Astriel's response would be, because it would be her. And you would know message received by the intended recipient. She would say, I'm almost there to meet with the council. We're almost there to meet with the council. Stay safe. Sounds like you are on the right track. Close enough.
Nobody else can hear that response, right? Or
No,
all
just you.
can?
Just you.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, I was nodding yes to nobody can hear it.
Did you see me nodding along with you? Like, okay, good. Other people. Since nobody else can hear it, I'm going to glance at Juno because she didn't necessarily say she was sending help. So I'm not going to say that. I said message sent. And then I'll glance at Juno with a hope that Juno gets a confirmation of help from the Harpers.
And Juno will knowingly receive this glance and look down at Jamna. Hey, friend. Where's the closest Harper that is not my brother or my spouse? Or me?
Oh, they'd probably be at the castle.
Do you know of any of their names?
Yes, but the DM doesn't. She would give you two names. She would give you two names. And in the interest of keeping things moving, can you write down that I owe you two names from, did you say Harper's?
Yep.
Okay, and we'll take care of that during our first break.
One of those two, whichever one sounds more devious, I send a message to them, strictly based on their name. And it might not get to them because with sending, you need to at least be familiar with the person.
Right.
So hopefully she has a picture of this person on them. And I'm just going to scream into the void.
Can't Gemna just describe them in depth? Like,
tell me everything you know.
like what are their race? What color are their eyes?
Like?
So
Yeah.
I'm liking the creativity, but you do genuinely have to be familiar with the person. The closest I've done is in another campaign, a changeling knew the person, but not the spell sending. So they changed into the person and interacted with the person who had the sending spell, and then I still made that person roll to see if they could be successful. I don't think a verbal description.
Knowing that I know how my spell works, so knowing that I don't know this person,
yeah,
I'm just going to continue to look down at Gemna and be like,
wait. Think about your Harper friend and tell them whoever is the head of the faction in Waterdeep. I'm sorry, I drew a blank on the name of the city that I'm from. Tell them, hey, get in touch with you. So, like, you know, it's like
Yeah,
a
we're just
game
gonna
of
play
telephone.
phone tag. Yep.
Yeah, wait.
I'm
does
just
that
gonna look
mean
at them
you
and
have-
say, yeah, we'll have someone over shortly while we figure this out.
Yeah, do you have the message?
I'm just gonna
on
tell
Thor?
them we'll send someone.
No, I can message Leosin.
Okay, cool.
I'm not messaging Anthar.
I was just like, that would be horrible.
Leosin seems like they know people, as they are one of our more well-traveled harpers. So I will just message Leosin.
Okay.
Now I gotta go back to the page I was just on with my notes. Okay.
Sorry, bud. Just an idea.
Yep.
I'm an idea man.
Thank you. Thank you for being the idea man.
And this is sending, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna fuck around. Hello, Leosin. Long time no see. I need you to send someone to protect Elsabara Omar. What does she look like again?
She's
Oh,
an
sorry,
older,
that's the GM. She's what?
older human woman.
Human woman, locksmith, at... And I list the street crossing that's nearby. I don't know what it is. Okay. Bye.
He would respond with, assuming you were with Ulta, I am actually with Astriel. We will coordinate help.
Now, that's all I needed her to say.
I say
Hey, did you
cool
just get
thanks
this
into the
text
void.
from Ult? Yeah, I just got one from Juno.
We're just texting mom and dad while we're sitting here, and both
There
of
you
us are
go.
texting a different parent.
Can you pick me up from the mall?
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, man.
Neat. All right.
The gills are fighting. Can you come pick me up?
You know what?
They
Juno,
forgot snacks.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
give you
wanna
that
be
spell
here
slot back because, in all fairness, like Astriel could have told Ulta that. We're gonna say the interaction still happened, but keep the spell slot.
Neat. Just screaming into the void.
Oh man. Okay,
And
so you
then I
got that
will
response.
Say, yep, second message sent. Protection's on the way.
Okay, good. She's actually going to go unlock a small safe behind her and pull out a small, very organized pile of papers and sort of shuffle through them until she gets to one of the final pages, and takes the key and looks at some small etchings that are on the ring at the base of the key, and she'll basically be like matching it up to a record and say, "Oh, I actually just sold this about a week ago to a man named." Of course, I just had it and then I lost it here. Volcar Kibbins. Volcar Kibbins. Holy heck, names are hard. Volkarr Kibbens. Volcar Kibbins. He purchased a rather nice lock from me and the service of installing it for him.
Installing it into what?
Well, I presume it's his home. Really a bit of a mess. I don't know what he wanted to keep so well locked, but he lives in an old windmill in the South Ward.
Okay.
Well, that would explain why it kind of smelled like birds. It's an old windmill. Probably a lot there.
Ulta's going to turn to Aster and say, I'm sorry, I don't remember him saying it smelled like birds. Is that what?
Well, remember I was the bear, and I decided just to give the key a sniff because that's what bears do, and it smelled like birds and bo. That's just a
Okay,
lot of
I remember the
information.
BO. I couldn't remember the birds bit. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Check.
I just. How does something smell like birds? Like that's very specific.
Well, that's just a very polite way to not say bird shit, but I mean,
Oh,
Here
no,
we
that
are.
makes more sense now. I get it now.
trying my best.
So to the windmill? Question mark.
I think so.
Okay.
Best lead we got, yeah.
Do you have a back door off of this back room?
No, I'm sorry, only the front.
Do you want us to leave in a timed, like, do you want me to leave first and then wait 2 minutes and then somebody else can leave? Kind of like, that like very discreet, not sketchy at all way.
Maybe if somebody could just, carefully check to make sure you weren't followed first. But other than that, I mean, people come back here for business and exchanges all the time. So I would just want to make sure that if you had been followed, whoever it is not here.
Yeah.
Sure
Yeah, we
thing.
can
Happy to
definitely do
take
that.
a look.
Yeah, I'll just peek out the window that I was standing in front of through the curtain and just be like, and just kind of look at the street, see if anyone's watching on the outside from this perspective.
Sure. Perception or investigation?
Perception.
This one's kind of like
please.
on the line, yeah.
Oh no.
Fuck.
It takes one natural one.
There are a lot of people out there.
So many. It's a very busy street.
Yes,
that
it
you
is.
live on, or that you work on.
I'm fine to go out first and take a look, and yeah, Astral just kind of walk back out to like the main store and kind of like look out onto the street and stuff too. So let me see,
Okay.
at least from my angle, if there's a thing with the perception check.
Okay. Yep. Go for it. Nice.
20 dirty.
You have +8?
Yeah.
Woo!
Observant feet.
Observant feet. Yeah. Okay. So, you are confident that nobody's. Well, first of all, nobody's just like standing around and staring at the place you're at. And from what you can tell, it seems like everybody around is on the move. Not even so much as like a second glance at where you guys are at. You feel pretty confident that nobody's here looking for or following you.
Yeah, looks like we're free to go.
So we'll stroll out.
You guys go to the south ward, wherever this windmill is.
So you'll head toward the south ward, and with Ulta as the familiar with Waterdeep tour guide, even with such a vague description, it would be easy enough to identify. So you get to the south ward. Oh, let's move you there. And just off of the sort of corner, southern corner, whoops. There we are. Right behind this secondary wall and right on the corner that leads onto a small beach going to the shore of the dock area, you find a few rundown, very old buildings, including a crumbling two-story windmill that has clearly been here a very long time, probably long before a lot of the city around it had been developed. It's got a main level that you can easily enough see from the outside spans what would be likely a few rooms, and then a round spire-like structure that goes up to the top where the windmill itself is anchored. So it's really only a 2-story place. You can see as you approach that the windows, at least from the side that you're approaching from, are all boarded up from the inside.
Interesting.
And
Because this may be a look over first. I don't know. I'm a little uneasy about this.
I would say maybe, how long does your stealthy stuff last, Aster?
10 minutes, give or take.
Okay. Maybe we kind of be sneaky around this bit, because I'm sure that they're probably protecting whatever is inside of there if we're going to try to scope it out first.
Mm-hmm. I like the plan.
We'll go ahead and do that then. Unless anyone else has any better ideas.
Oh, never mind. I just can't read. It's up to an hour.
Oh,
Great.
Just
It's
kidding.
even better. We're great.
So what was, I'm sorry, what was the verdict?
I think we're gonna creep around the outside.
Okay.
Give a look around, see if we can get in, that kind of thing.
We
Okay.
do have a
For
key
all-
to the door, everyone.
Is it that door? Or is it just like...
She said it could possibly
No
be
one
the
must
key
be
to the
tried.
house.
Well,
But
I guess only one way to find out. And yeah, I guess Astral just cast Pass Without a Trace around the group.
Okay. So you now have your, is it plus 10s to stealth checking? And you said you're sneaking around the house, right? Or the windmill. So go ahead and everybody make a stealth check.
Alright.
Whoa!
I'm sorry, I
stealth's
guess
a
my
lot.
mouse is very broken and I haven't updated it since we last played together and I
That's
said
all
my
right.
mouse was broken.
If only there was
Gotta, there's literally
window for
another
roll.
mouse in this room. I have no idea where it is. Well, wow.
I
Okay.
like this one.
So
This one's
23
sassy.
was the first one from
I
me.
got a 30.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Okay, so plus
33.
10, so
There
the
we go.
lowest was 17 with Aster.
Right. Okay.
Ulta was at 23.
So generally checking around the outside of this, you would get confirmation that what once were windows on all sides? Yep, all sides are boarded up from the inside. There's also a ton of graffiti all over in various places and like from mud. Like people taking mud onto their hands and fingers and sort of spewing symbols all over. And a total of 4 doors on this level. None of which are locked. Or at least you don't see a lock.
So.
Are there any glyphs that are visible on these doors as we go past them?
You can make an investigation check.
Okay. Can LSAO make the investigation check? My
Absolutely.
spouse, who is
Aha!
very good at spotting things.
Yeah.
They did not do well. I hate
goodness.
Oh.
everything.
That one's on the good
You
thing.
can definitely have help, like if all of you are generally checking it out.
Juno is helping their spouse describing what glyphs of warding look like.
You know, at least it's not a one. At least it's
Holy
not a
cow.
Now I know why Nif does not roll in D&D Beyond.
one.
Oofda.
Oofda is right.
There we go. There's okay, so from what you can tell, Ulta, you feel fairly confident. No glyphs, no dangerous, traps of magical or otherwise variety. And actually, Jamna would pipe in and say, it's kind of odd that these aren't, it's just open. And then she'll actually like push on one of the doors and it'll start to nudge open.
All right, so I guess we're going in that door.
I think so.
Do it.
To like knock first.
Sounds like a terrible idea. We were trying to steal.
Hey,
Just going through.
I need to go. Speaking of knocks, somebody's being really incessant at my front door. So we'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
An ad because we've been playing
Oh,
for a bit.
I probably should have. Sorry.
We love you.
We're
Jack.
back.
We love you too much. We wouldn't do that.
We will take a legit break soon. And then, yes, we will be running ads. Thank you for the reminder because I'm terrible at that. Okay, so sorry for that interruption. But we are now, so we're investigating this windmill, right? And Jamna basically nudged one of the doors that you'd found, and it does just kind of start swinging open. So what do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna let Jamna go in before me.
Yeah, I guess just kind of going sneakily into this ramshackle windmill. This isn't spooky at all.
I, as LSAO, will send Puff in right behind Jamna and have Puff start scoping a little bit in the house. And I will hold my spouse Juno's hand. There we go. And I, Juno, will hold the hand of my partner as we walk into the house in the rear behind everyone while I keep an eye out on if anyone's watching us from the streets or anything.
Okay. So that is a series of events here. Puff's going in.
I had to get it in one thought, otherwise I would forget.
Yep. So Puff's going in. Jamna's actually going to kind of like stay at the door for a second while she sees Puff go in and like clearly peer in herself, but without actually going in yet. I'm actually going to switch you guys to this page You can't really see much, but it might be a little bit better than just talking about it. And we're over here. You're able to see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so yep, you're on the outside, looking in. And so on the northeast side of the map, from the view you have right now, is the tower piece that goes to the actual spinning apparatus that is the windmill, and then to your south is the sort of bulk of the rest of the building. The door that was opened and that Puff went into is right here. And LSAO sees... Talking to Corn Dog as two different characters is going to be interesting tonight. LSAO sees at first mostly empty hallway. On the north end, there's this stairway spiraling upward, up the tower, and then a series of doors within, obviously leading to other rooms. Other than some torches that are lighting the hallway, there's really nothing else here that they can see.
Puff will go up the stairwell because Puff cannot open the door. So.
Okay. Going up the stairwell, the exit is open, leading to a slightly larger hallway-like platform where they can see... What is this? They can actually see that there's a large hole in the very ceiling, like right in the center of the structure's ceiling at the top. Excuse me. And then the apparatus within that would basically like anchor the windmill itself, and an ancient millstone, very, very old millstone. That's sort of like mechanically connected to the windmill itself.
I will tell Puff to go towards the smell of bird shit.
Yeah, he found it. It's up here and is concentrated around the area that was open, like caved in from the ceiling. And then, do you know what Puff's perception is? Like passive?
Let's see if he's in. No. Let's check. D&D Beyond. Hold, please. Dismiss. All right, so owl familiar.
Owls have a +3 to perception, but that's all I got.
Let's try owl. Oop, ba-doop, boop, boop.
They do have keen hearing and sight, though, which is cool.
Oh, okay. The
Then
keen
advantage
hearing
on
is enough
perception.
then. Yeah,
Yeah.
keen hearing is enough that at one point LSAO would be able to literally see what he sees, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so of the 3 doors that he can see up here, the one behind the millstone, he can hear a couple of male voices discussing.
LSAO just kind of whispers to the group, male voices, upstairs, top part of the windmill. And they'll just whisper or telepathically say back to Puff, just sit in that room with the bird poop. Sorry.
All right, just before LSAO leaves his vision, he'll essentially just like fly over to the top of the millstone and just kind of perch at a high point.
Call loudly. Screech if you must, if you see them leave the room. And then I, as Juno, am still scanning the street for anyone watching us.
Ooh, perception check.
Yeet. $13. Wow, so much better.
Okay, well, luckily for you, the DC is much lower here because other than several other like clearly abandoned and run down structures, there's really nothing around, and definitely no people. There haven't been people since you had to kind of come off the main road and in between several other buildings to get here. And you're actually pretty confident still that nobody's in iShop of you guys.
Just a little bit creeped out. I'm gonna be like, well, if we need someone to stand watch, I could just stay outside or something. Okay, it was a joke. Don't worry. It's fine.
I'm sorry, brother, but you're not the one to stay outside. You're too... And Juno just gestures to Icarus's being of like
He's too
sparkly,
beautiful.
glittery man with a bunch of jewels on his body.
I
You're
do
not
glow.
inconspicuous enough to be the person to stand guard outside.
Well, I could do it. Jamna pipes in.
That sounds like a great idea, Jamna. So we
Yeah.
as players don't have to remember she's there.
Yeah.
So you're telling me since I don't fit in, I should glow inside?
Oh my gosh, you're like the glow boy from Sky High.
I glow.
Awesome.
Anyway. Anyway, in we go. Walk on in.
All right, so let's open this door. You find this small hallway leading to... hello? I'm on the wrong keyboard. I'm trying a different than normal setup here, and I'm struggling a little bit. There we are. Okay. We can see that now, yes? Yes. Let's shift you a little bit. There we are. All right, so this is exactly as described before, a long and narrow hallway running north-south. One door, the wall might be kind of weird, so just in case, there's one door here. And then you can see one door to the south with an offshoot of the hallway right next to it. Aster, as you peek over to the stairs on your left to the north, you would see light pouring in from the upper level. But other than that, it's a couple of lit torches that would light the rest of this place for you. You can hear, at this point, a few low, hushed voices through the door right in front of you. And you would also see a flickering light from underneath the door.
Well, what do you guys think? Should we maybe look at places that don't have people in them first, or do we just want to waltz on
Already here,
in?
we should just walk in, right?
I could walk in invisibly while you guys go through the house and create a distraction filled with mayhem.
I do like the invisible going in first, but the door opening might be a little obvious still if they're paying attention. I don't know.
Not if it's thaumaturgy and I just hide a little bit and then trip them as they run past.
That's not sneaky, is it?
Sounds pretty sneaky to me.
Well, I mean,
Maybe
I would
we
trip
should
you,
do
sure enough.
they wouldn't see it coming, but
Sorry,
we wouldn't
I would trip you, sure enough.
I get that it's like sneaky and it would like do its job, but it also wouldn't like tell us what they're saying or who they are. It would just trip someone, right? Right?
Fine.
Just want to head to the bird shit room?
I mean, you could still walk in invisible and see if they are like,
I
oh,
will
that's
not
weird.
walk in invisible. I will stand here invisible and alert you if they come out of this room.
Millie, is that you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was the name?
I heard Millie.
Millie, yes.
Okay.
Yes, darling.
Come on in. We found some extra food today. It's a feast.
What do you think Millie would look like?
Just
Not
say that you
rich.
have to go to the bathroom, and then you'll be right there.
I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right there.
This is going to be the campaign that shits all the time to get out of it.
Oh, it just might be.
No.
I was gonna.
Art imitating life, imitating art.
I was just gonna turn into like a random lady.
That
Like-
sounds like a terrible idea. Way worse than being invisible. Way worse.
Okay, now you should turn invisible and walk in and see if it works.
So
Wait,
said
you
there
guys need to go
weren't-
into the rest of the house.
You said there weren't people to the south, right?
I'm the ghost.
The
of your-
voices you hear are
See
coming
what
from the
there were.
east.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just sorry.
No, go up.
I am
Go
all
up the
turned around.
stairs.
Okay, the stairs are here. I just can't read maps. It's fine.
Quick question. So the people that Puff heard, was this in a similar area as to what we're hearing
over
now?
here.
Or was that in a different part of the windmill?
Different parts. So the only people that Puff heard were upstairs. So this would be new for Eliseo.
Oh shit.
Eliseo just says, "Ope."
That is 10 people.
I mean,
So we start
either
heading
blame it on
up.
the other party for noises, but someone should go upstairs. Juno is going to just and go invisible.
Nice.
Eliseo will follow Alta upstairs if Alta's going upstairs
Oh my
or if Aster's going upstairs.
I am having a serious issue with my token. So
Oh, no.
I ended up somewhere on the map and I do not
Oh.
need to be there. My
Let's-
token,
Let's
like
fix
everything is blank except for okay, thanks.
I
And I'm like,
know,
how
it's
did I
Like,
get
I
here?
was having issues with the dynamic lighting because I straight up since I was in that corner I couldn't see the stairs and I was like, oh, they must be there, but they're not.
That you know
This is
that
fine.
that is just we kind of have to you might have to keep it a little honest with the what you can and can't see. I did my best with these walls, but this is one of the maps for this module are super funky in several ways, so I just kind of had to wing it with the walls. So yeah.
I'm gonna ask a weird question, but every time
Sure.
I pull my token south on the map, it drags the whole map north. And if I pull my token north, it drags it south again.
You
So,
are left clicking, right?
Yes.
You might be
And it-
having a mouse problem too.
So I'm everywhere. I don't know where I'm at on this map, but I'm near.
You're upstairs now.
Okay.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah, thanks.
Um,
I'm like not gonna touch it until I need to touch it. Like,
If you want, you can just tell me where you'd like to go, and or you can try using the arrow keys instead. Just click on your token and use arrow keys to go up, down, left, right.
okay, I'm gonna do that.
There you go.
Oh, that was way easier.
I've got one idea. Okay. Juno, follow me upstairs. And I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Why are we going upstairs? I thought we were messing with the guys downstairs.
Oh, oh yeah, the guy's downstairs. Follow me downstairs.
Millie, what the
are
heck? And the
downstairs.
door is actually opening now as you guys are.
Well, I'm invisible.
I'm invisible, and now I'm
we
like
are going
slinking into the
upstairs.
wall.
Yeah,
You are
we hear
invisible,
the
but you
door
are
open.
where you
I'm
are.
heckin'- Yeah, like
I
I'm
am
heckin'
as close
going
to that wall as I
around
can
the
get.
Corner.
My cardinal directions
Same.
for the character are actually this bad. I thought east was upstairs.
Around the corner. They
Okay.
can't see me.
Am I literally in front of a door right now? The black lines make it hard to tell.
Yes. Okay. So let's.
I just go to the hinge of the door and like plaster myself along the side of the wall.
There you go.
Okay.
So you're able to see that. To The one that opens the door is a woman of middle-ish age, and the person in there with her is similar. They're both wearing very tattered, old, clearly worn down clothing, and they have a small fire going in the middle of the room, with another small hole in the ceiling that the smoke is sort of exiting out of. The room is an absolute mess. You can see a couple of bedrolls that clearly they're using, and a couple of small piles of personal belongings and stuff. But from what you can gather, it seems like they might be hunkered up here. You said it was 2 women? Yes.
And there's a third woman.
I thought there was a dude. I don't know why I assumed the dude asking for Millie was a dude.
Well, that's probably just because I didn't alter my voice to make it sound like a woman.
That's fair. You probably sound like a dude.
Why are you saying there's a third?
Because Millie went to the bathroom. They asked if that was Millie.
Because there's Millie. 2 plus Millie in their group that we know vaguely about.
So you know there is a Millie somewhere.
Can I see any tattoos on them?
Or weapons.
Also, brother, you should be looking for tattoos on them.
I'm looking for tattoos and weapons.
Both of you make an investigation check. Yeah, normal investigation check.
I'm really good at that, don't worry.
13! It's gonna be the number of the night tonight. 3. Good job, Chris.
I told you I'm good at that.
He tried.
It's better than a natural 1.
Well,
this the one not hiding.
This person is actually like right here at the door. Like she opened the door and like looked out, and like right in front of your face, Juno. And so it would be easy enough to tell. You do not see any tattoo on her neck. And she'll actually peer over at the rest of the group and see them walking up the stairs and say, "Oh, that's not Millie." And then she'll actually go back in and close the door.
Oh. Well. Okay.
While the door was open, did I see any cool rocks?
You can make
looking for a stone.
Make a separate investigation check.
Oh no. 14. Hey.
You know, for all the stuff that's sort of strewn about and even in the piles, it would be difficult to see what's in the piles, but at least surface level, it seems like it's really more concentrated to like small, like goblet-like pieces, maybe a small gem here and there, and like things that a person would assume might have some monetary value.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing matching the kind of stone description that you were looking for.
Neat.
I had a really good plan to mess with them.
I mean, we still can, but later.
No Millie and the ghosts of Millie past.
What? Stop talking.
You said we still could.
Yeah, later.
Oh, I missed that
Later
part.
was the. Oh my god. Juno is actually going to do the thing that you should always do in Dungeons and Dragons and split the party. She just wants to go explore this lower level, but LSAO will be going up with the other group because.
Okay.
Or they would like to get back to Puff.
Okay. Let's start with Juno. Are you going south, I'm assuming, or are you going to check out the other?
I'm going south.
Okay.
I'm just gonna fuck around and find out what's down here. Meow.
Okay.
I was gonna follow my sister, but I don't know they left.
Are they invisible too?
We're both invisible.
LSAO is too?
No.
No.
So you would
Icarus
know.
was gonna follow me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
I just
so
dipped.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, I'm just
I
getting
guess I'll
people
just
mixed
walk
up.
This way.
So Juno,
Oh, that is the way you went.
you reach the end of another very narrow hallway and discover another door. And both of the doors that the one you've passed now and the one that you're at, both also had a similar flickering light, emanating through the bottom of the door jamb. You can also see that these doors are super run down, like they were haphazardly sort of put up in the first place, and they're old, beaten up, along with the general look of the place overall. Pretty much matching the outside, that this place is very old. It hasn't been well kept. And you do not hear any voices coming out of any of the other doors, though.
I'll gently just push it open.
Okay.
Icarus, get the other room.
You're invisible, right?
Yeah.
And Juno is too?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Juno, you push the door open. And you can't see it from your token right now, but off to the right there, that works, is one other person hunkered around a small fire cooking a small scrap of meat over said small fire. And it's a very similar sight as the other room. A couple of small piles of junk and stuff. And when the door finishes swinging open, this person looks around and then goes back for a second and then double takes and goes, "What the hell?" And he's going to stand up and start walking toward the door.
I am going to, as quietly as possible, shuffle to this wall to let them. Oh God! I think I fell outside. Well, I'm stuck in the wall.
We'll put you.
I cannot get out. Oops.
Here.
Yeah. Surprise! I took stone shape, everyone, and just became a part of it. No, I am just going to hide and move as quietly as possible with my pass without a trace and advantage. Please, because I'm invisible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go ahead and roll that stealth check.
I just want to be unseen.
Nice.
33.
All right, so you quickly sift over, and this person has a moment of what the heck, and goes to, peek around the door. Icarus, you see this person peek around the door and look quite literally right through you, with a concerned look on his face.
That's the door at the end of the hallway, right? Not the one I'm at?
Correct.
Cool.
And then go back in and close the door. Juno, we're going to pause there. Icarus, let's do you next. What's happening?
Real quick, I'm going to look at that guy. Weapons or tattoos?
What guy?
The guy that just opened the door.
Oh, he was at the end of the hallway, so we'll make a investigation check. DC's gonna be medium-ish.
It's okay, I wouldn't make it either way.
Okay.
17!
You actually did. So even though it was kind of a quick look around, as a quick sight down at the hallway, you caught him as he came out, and you don't see any tattoos on him.
Was he cute?
Sure.
Pick the wrong door. And I'm gonna open my door.
Well, cute, but clearly not clean. Same thing though. Tattered clothing. Probably hasn't washed himself in at least several days. Dirty, and the living conditions of this place are. There's a pattern.
Okay, I'm gonna open my door. I'm not distracted.
Okay, and you find the exact same site, just in a different room, similar format. Another more middle-aged person again. Small fire going, cooking some food. Small piles of things strewn about, along with a single bedroll. And the same thing's going to happen. This person is going to hear that the door opened and look over with this confused look of huh? And walk toward it.
Okay, I'm gonna step in right around the corner just to see if I can slip in before they get to the door.
Okay, make a stealth check. Advantage.
Yay. They always take a minute to load. There's the first one. There's the second one. 34.
All right. You successfully slump off to the side wall here. And this person just walks over to the door, does the same thing, kind of poke their head out like, what? And then just close the door again. And we'll also pause there. Those of you going up the stairs, when you get to the landing at the top, you see a slightly more open room with a window. I'll move you there in just a second. A window facing outward on the stairwell, as well as the very top of the landing, again boarded up from the inside, and then this millstone on the south side with 3 doors on the remaining sides of the room. So I'm going to put this door back.
Can you find Ulta again? She disappeared into
She yeeted herself somewhere.
Oh
I
my
saw
god!
the token just go like into the dark. I was like, what the hell?
I don't know where she's at.
Ulta's having a little bit of a day, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Yep, just needed to finish that door. Where's Ulta? We're playing a game here. Holy... You are inside of a wall.
On
What
the map where Ulta is.
All right. You 3, we're taking a trip.
I forgot about the
Going on a trip.
I forgot about the use the arrows and then it was just and then she was gone. So
All right, so you guys are over here.
yes.
There we are.
So I will whisper. Maybe prepare an action just in case they come out swinging? Question mark at the end.
Sure. I mean, that sounds like a good idea.
I just want to have a little bit of a moment of appreciation for chat here. Talk about splitting a party. Luckily, this place is small. But here, let's look at Juno's point of view. Oh, I can't do that on this screen. So Juno's point of view ends here. Icarus's point of view is just this room. And everybody else is up here.
It's fine.
This is D&D.
These are very dark places.
All right. So you 3 up top. What are you doing? You're preparing actions. Let's specify what those are going to be and what the triggers might be.
Okay, Ulta is going to unsheath one of her short swords and have it at the ready in the off chance anybody comes at her aggressively when we go to say, I don't know, open a door or, use a key or ask them what they're doing, and if their name's Volk or Kibbins and they get angry. That's all. She's just gonna be prepared.
While they're walking up the stairs, LSAO will gently lean in and cast Gift of Alacrity on Ulta, because they are a wizard and they do not know how to fight very well, but they would like it if Ulta could.
Okay.
And that's who's directly in front of them on the stairwell anyway, so beep boop beep. But the spell that they will prepare, so that was kind of like happening in transit before Ulta spoke.
Okay.
I don't know, wizard stuff.
It's not concentration.
Gift of Alacrity is not concentration, so that's nice.
Oh yeah, like I'm just concentrating on heckin' Pass Without Trace right now. So I'm just like, what can I do?
They will prepare Misty Step so they can
Ooh,
run
nice.
away and get a better vantage point. Sorry. In case. So
Nice.
they are
Okay.
preparing that.
Tell you what, if it looks like like people are gonna start like getting aggressive or something, she has to shield someone. She will just prepare a wild shape into, let's say, a dire wolf. I don't think I've done a dire wolf yet.
Okay. And then Ulta?
I'm just holding my short sword dual attack.
Oh, that's right. You did say that. Sorry. Okay, so with those actions prepared, I'm not gonna go with like weird rules about it. We'll just say that like until the next thing happens, you can have those actions held. You can still move around and do other things. We're just gonna say you're like on alert as you're doing it. So you see this door just to your southeast, another one just south of you, and then one tucked away. This one is more hidden, sorry, behind the millstone. And this one has a shiny new padlock on it.
Yeah. Okay. I will go like this. And then make motions to Aster and Eliseo of in an attempt to mimic but not say any words. And assuming that everyone understands what she's saying with her miming, she's just going to start stealthing towards the lock.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
I don't want to touch my token. Let's try it this way.
The fear.
Oh, I'm going to use the things. I am going to stop at this door here,
Okay.
and give it a listen.
Okay. You can make an investigation check.
Sounds bad.
Eliseo and Aster, what's going on for you guys?
So Puff, or at least the view from Puff, mentioned that there were people softly talking up here. Can we like see the light source of where that talking is coming from?
Yes, it is coming from the southern door.
Okay. Yeah. Aster's just gonna be on the side of that other door. We'll say on the other side, just right there.
Okay.
Just be
And you're
ready and just like having Ulta's back here.
so your attention is on the southern door or the one that you're next to?
Oh, I thought you said other, not southern. Okay.
Sorry,
No,
southern
you're
door.
fine. You're totally fine. I'm just like on very low brain cells today.
It's all good.
Yes, I will be on the side that, where the talking was from.
Okay. You can. What's your? Investigation check, please. And then while that's rolling, let's have Eliseo. What's happening with Eliseo?
Eliseo is signaling for Puff to come join them again.
Okay. And he was right here, just kind of perched on the millstone, so he's just watching as you guys were sneaking about.
Hello, buddy. Okay, and this door across from where Ulta is.
Okay.
Is that where voices are or anything?
The voices were where Aster is.
Okay. Eliseo will just sit in front of this door, prepared to open it if they need to.
Okay. What is their
but
passive?
watching Ulta and like trying to support Ulta if they need help with like unlocking the door or anything like that.
Okay. What is their passive perception?
Ooh, passive perception. 11.
Okay.
Passive
LSAO.
investigation, on the other hand.
Well,
17.
Wait, passive investigate is a thing?
Yeah. It's just like your ability to see traps and stuff that are out of place.
Oh,
or,
okay, that specifically.
Like notice things, rather not like exactly what it is, but just ability to notice things.
Right. Okay, so LSAO and Ulta hear nothing from the doors that they are at. Aster, over a few seconds, you are able to hear a couple of muffled male voices exchanging a conversation. And before we go back down to Juno and Icarus, here's what you hear. I don't want to do that again, man. That was creepy as hell. And I didn't like it. And a second voice will say, yeah, it was good to have a job, but that guy was creepy as hell. So we got paid. That's good enough. Let's look for other work, man. All right. Juno, we're back to you down here.
Oh no.
Since
I was
closing
having more fun playing LSAO where it wasn't bad.
This person is going to close the door. Oh, I didn't close that door back up. Sit back down and continue tending to a small bit of food alongside a small fire, and just start eating. And
Is this
generally
a door?
that is a door. And just kind of eat and shuffle through some stuff. Is there anything you want to do?
Oh, just slither silently around this room. Oh god, stop coming up, token settings. I don't need you. To get to this door, is there any light coming out of it, like daylight, or is it dark?
Small crack of daylight coming through underneath. You can tell it's outside.
Cool. Okay. Sorry, I've got to get to Judo sheet. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to cause the fire to flicker a bunch.
If you cast a spell, doesn't it ruin your invisibility?
Oh shit, that's right. Never mind. Hold, please.
Don't want you to accidentally die.
I'm gonna open the door as quietly as possible to like unhinge it, or not unhinge it, but like that initial click of a door opening. I want to do that as slowly and quietly as possible, and then I'm going to make that sound as I push the door open. And I'm gonna whisper gibberish in orc. As I go back this way. In attempts to scare this person out of this room and have them go outside the door that I just opened up. Leave this place. I don't know if they speak orc, but it's gibberish if they do.
Okay. This person will actually look over real quick as the door starts squeaking. You'd actually recognize as you're opening the door that it leads out to the space that you had come into in a different door. So it's like facing that area. And Jamna's not there. Jamna's not at the...
I expect Jamna to always disappear on us, so if they were there, I would be surprised.
Nice. So Jamna's not there, and you'll see this person look at the door and just start getting frustrated. This stupid latch, I've fixed it 1,000 times, and then just starts tinkering around in one of the piles in this corner.
Oh no. Okay, then I go this way. I'm dancing around them.
As if they're clearly looking for something. And so what's your next move? Did you say you were leaving? Oh, you wanted them to leave.
I wanted them
But they
to
did
go
not.
outside. I wanted to startle them to make them leave, which is why I whispered angry things
Right.
in Orcish.
So, so they're clearly going to respond to the door first, and then as you start gibberishing in Orcish, he's going to look at the door again and be like, I told him this fucking place was haunted. Shit! And then like aggressively start digging through the pile as if they're actually looking for something in response to that.
I will laugh sinisterly and go to this door and open it, and then slam it really hard behind me.
Yeah, to the hells with you, whatever, ghost shit, stay out of my house.
When they say that behind the door, I just whisper, it won't be yours for long. And then just completely ghost out of there and run after everyone, silently giggling to myself. Yay, pranks!
Nice.
Trickery
Okay.
deity.
Icarus, it's your turn. What's going on down here?
I'm just gonna walk around the room, looking for anything that catches my eye, pretty things or like notes. Because last time I investigated something like successfully, I found this very important note. So I'm like now thinking that papers might be important. So just like looking around, just seeing if there's anything in this room to.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Ah, shit! I forgot. I gotta word things differently so I don't have to make those rolls.
Okay, so it's...
Is that my new one? Did I roll 3 again?
Yeah, you rolled a 3 again.
We're doing great.
We are doing
Yay,
great.
Roll 20.
So there, there's several piles of junk all around the place, and the one bedroll, it just kind of looks like a hoardish mess. This person is clearly not very organized. Really is only hanging on to stuff that looks cheap. And no, you don't find really anything that might seem like it's important.
Okay, so, and then I'm gonna, there's a door at the bottom side, right? Down here.
That is a door, yes.
I'm gonna, instead of opening it slowly, hoping they don't notice, I'm just gonna slam it open, like pull it so hard it like hits the wall as it like swings open.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna look what's through the door. Like as quick as I can so that I can like go the other way if I need to.
You would recognize it as outside. Like one of the areas that you had seen when you were walking around outside.
Should I go back to the front door or retrace my steps?
I'm going to let you make a decision before you see the person's reaction.
I'm gonna go back to the other door. I'm just gonna run as quick as I can.
Okay. As the first door slams, this person is going to have a jolt and say something to the effect of, man, it's windy today. I gotta talk to Lester about these latches.
And as
Goes
I'm
to the door to
assuming
close
we're
it.
gonna go close that door, I'm gonna open this one as quiet as I can and sneak out.
Okay, make a stealth check. Advantage.
At least I have advantage on this one.
Nice. All right,
35.
easy enough. You sneak out without going noticed again.
It's all in the planning.
So there you are.
So I'm starting to think there's not much going on, so I guess I'll just walk back this way.
Okay.
I hope you
I
slam
think I,
right
like,
into
actually
me as I'm
tripled my sister.
gallivanting away. I'm just giggling to myself, running through the hall.
Oh man. All right, let's go to the other 3. You've checked out the 2 doors, the one east and the one west. You don't really notice anything happening on the other sides of, but Aster, the one down here, you can hear 2 men discussing how they don't want to do something again. This dude was very creepy, etc. What do you want to do?
I am just gonna wait to see if Ulta takes out the key and just starts unlocking this, or just keep listening. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. Ulta will walk up and I guess, yeah, she's just gonna clink, clink.
It's like, we have stealth on our side still, if you do this
And
carefully.
Yeah.
Opening a lock, though, that's going to be difficult to do quietly. So you can make a stealth check. It's going to be a higher DC. And go ahead. Actually, this one will not be advantage because it's purely the sound thing.
And it's pass without trace, right?
Yeah, it's
You
plus
will
10
have
now,
that.
but-
Yes. All right. So the key does insert and open the lock. But you kind of like fumble it just enough. Like you try to catch it as it clunks downward to release the padlock. And then the guys, the two voices inside, all three of you up here will hear, "What the hell?" And then you'll hear like aggressive shuffling around in the room. And then one of them will say, "Shit, I lost my key."
Oh, jeez.
Go away! Just go away! Just please leave the key. We don't have anything, man. Just go away, please.
Man.
Did they come out?
They said, "Man."
Oh, man.
Like, "Hey, man."
I was gonna say, can they see me?
They haven't. So you didn't open the door. They have not tried to open the door. You can just hear them kind of yelling out to you, and they had shuffled around in a panic.
Is there a lock on the outside of their door, or like a place to insert a lock, like a padlock, similar to the door that we just opened?
What?
I'm a little confused. That is the only door that's open.
We just
Yeah, it's
unlocked
like-
a lock.
yeah, so
on
is
that
that a-
door.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I
Padlock.
can
Okay,
grab
so
the
it's like-
padlock
and then
misty
put it
step
on
with
the door
it
that-
directly
yeah,
to
that
their
they're in.
door and just lock them in.
The door,
Yeah.
their door is the one that was just unlocked.
Oh. I thought it was this door.
Mm-mm.
My brain hurts.
Oh,
The
Ulta, you're
most
here, right?
southern- Well, yeah, but I can't
Oh.
move myself.
Right.
there
Yeah.
Because my
I thought I heard you say you went to the door that Aster was at. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
Yes.
yes. So this is the door, the only door that had a lock on it, and
Okay,
is the
never
one that
mind.
Aster's been at.
Never mind. My brain has melted.
It's all
into
good.
Cheese.
I know, my wires are crossing too.
Sorry, I could probably describe things a little better to help out too.
You're good.
No, I think I just missed one line of Chrissy saying that they were by.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've been sort of like panicking and yelling out at you, "Just go away, man. Like, we don't have anything here."
I'm going to say, "Oh, made a mistake," and put my sword away and step into the room. And cast web.
You're casting
Ooh.
web?
Ooh,
Is that new?
I like that.
Yeah. Question mark?
That's a
I've
good
had it for a
spell.
while. It's called
Such a good
Swarmkeeper
spell.
Magic.
Yeah.
It's been there since forever, but I've literally
it's a
never read
very-
it or used it.
Yeah, it is a very underutilized spell, but it works very well here.
Nice.
You want me
Okay.
to-
So you're
okay.
intending to like stick them, essentially? Is
Yeah,
that what you're getting at?
Essentially,
Okay.
I
Web
would
them
like
into the
to.
room.
Yes.
So as I'm working on the door here in Roll20, you open the door and you guys would see these two slightly better off than everybody else you've seen to this point. Actually, did you see anybody? I don't think you saw anybody.
I don't think Aster and Ulta have.
Okay. So we have to in character you didn't see any of the other people. What you will see is two very common looking like maybe 40-year-old or so men. This room is much better kept than everything that you've seen to this point. It's a little crowded. It's very cramped since it's so small, but you can see a couple of bedrolls, like one armoire type of, or like a pull drawer type of piece of furniture, and another door going to the west from here. But in their panic, you can see that these guys sort of like threw what little belongings they had sort of like into the middle of the room as like a makeshift barricade, and both of them are holding like whatever they could grab. One of them's holding like a candlestick, and then the other like a small wooden club like thing, and they're in this panicked, like clearly not skilled in defending themselves in the moment, but they just kind of grabbed what they could and ran with it, sort of thing. And you shoot this web out, and it sort of ensnares them, so they're kind of stuck in this like half wound up, half panicking, backing up position. And both of them at the same time as you come in and do that are like, whoa, 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 man, whoa. I told you we don't have anything. Please, take what you want. Whatever. Just take what you want. Please don't kill us.
Okay. Oh.
I was just gonna say, I'm just gonna ball up a little bit of like a handkerchief and just stuff it right in their mouth. And just for a second until we figure out what's happening.
Okay. Look, no one is here to kill anybody necessarily. We're just based on this key that we found. We know where you've been and likely what you were looking for. So if you found it, will you show that to us, and we won't have to get messy with anything.
Make a persuasion or intimidation check at advantage while that's happening.
Okay.
Juno and Icarus, as you guys are starting to, Juno gleefully, hop along to whatever you were going to do next, you hear from the upstairs this, whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you guys want to do?
13.
Juno is just booking it upstairs, quietly, dashing and stuff like that to get up there. Now that there's some ruckus going on, they just need to know what's happening.
Icarus, what about you?
I feel like this is kind of normal, so I'm just gonna walk up at a normal pace.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay, so I'll shift you guys over there. And Aster, you can see when you say that they'll both still be in this like wide-eyed mode, like stuck in their half panic, half defensive-ish positions, and they'll like look around at you guys and then at each other real quick, and then just
Okay.
But they're gagged right now, so.
I was gonna say, I will remove one gag.
Okay. All right. He's gonna start talking. But before we do that, I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to take a legit short break. Bathroom refills, all that jazz. So we will be back in a few minutes. In the eyes of elves. Okay, so we're back.
We're back?
We're back.
We were actually so close to that.
We were. Okay, so we are in the upper level of this windmill and have discovered two guys in this upper like housing area. I'm just gonna call it an apartment. I don't know what else to call it. Who Ulta stuck to the walls essentially and gagged. And Aster came in with, tell us what you know and we'll leave. And so, Ulta, you have removed the gag from one of them, correct? All right. And Aster, could you remind me exactly what you requested of them? You said you know where they'd been.
And what they were looking for. So, doesn't have to get messy if they just show us the thing that they found.
Well, we went into the mausoleum for bodies.
Vibe check.
Sure. Insight check.
Unfortunately, not an advantage. All right. 23.
As surprising as that might sound, you are confident that he's actually telling the truth.
Okay.
We were hired, man. We took the bodies to Merklov, and that was it. We're done, though. We're not doing it again. It super creeped us out. That guy sucks. He's super creepy, too. Like, we just want to be done with the whole thing.
Strange. Okay.
Okay, but where's he at?
Yeah, that or do you know Volkar Kivens? He's the one that got this key apparently. Do you know him?
How do you know my name?
Hey, hi. We've just been tracking this key, but yeah, it's you. Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Oh man, I'm in trouble. Does anybody else know my name? Is that damn guild coming too?
I don't think so. I think we're ahead of the game. You don't really have to worry about us too much. We're just
Well, if you're ahead of the game, that means they could come get us too. Oh man, we're gonna need to find a new place.
Esther just kind of looks around. It's like, is that really such a bad thing?
Ooh.
Yikes.
Ulta will say, remind me again who hired you to steal dead bodies like a weirdo?
Oh man, somebody's gonna kill me for this. His name's Merklov. I think he's a necromancer. He's hiring us and other people to get bodies out of the city of the dead. He's doing some kind of experiment or something. I don't really know. He just hired us to go get bodies.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
Very unsettling.
Where is he at? Is he here?
We were instructed to take the bodies to a cellar area right behind a place called the Powdered Wig Shop, Dandy Mops. There's like a cellar there, and I don't know, he's somewhere down there. We just take the bodies there at night and kind of put them at the exit and just leave. Took our pay when we got there.
How much did he pay you?
50 gold per body.
Shit. Alright, I'd have done it too.
LSAO peeks their head in from the doorframe. You didn't also happen to pick up any rocks, did you? Just bodies, no rocks?
Oh, there was this rat thing carrying a cool stone. I mean, we killed it, and it like poof, when I stabbed it, and then but yeah, we took the stone to him too. We didn't keep anything. We were told not to keep anything, and then we got our pay. All the valuables with the bodies.
What? Like, why would you kill it? Like, I mean, you're there with dead bodies. What was the point of killing the fucking rat? And I'm gonna put the thing back in his mouth really quickly.
Well,
And I'm gonna turn to everybody else and say, all right, well. I can cut these guys down, but obviously we're gonna have to go find this Merklov.
I think we leave him.
Well, then they're just sitting ducks at that point if someone actually does come chasing after them.
I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna chase after them. I mean, I'm just upset that they killed the rat. Like, that was a poor familiar.
I mean, it comes back, doesn't it? Like,
It can. It costs money, but it can.
Silently around everyone, Juno is just gonna sneak into the room that everyone's talking in and
are you
navigate
still
her way
invisible?
through the web. Yep.
Okay.
I am too, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah,
Never.
you're just hearing
Then-
Icarus's
then you're
like
just hearing
disembodied
voices.
voice.
Sure. I will speak to the ether then.
So it's getting real crowded in here. So I'm gonna say it's basically not possible to go unnoticed, you guys. So everybody else is gonna see like things sort of slump down from the piles that they're in. Maybe something shifts over as these two are trying to slump around between all the people and the stuff.
I'm gonna open the door.
Oh, that door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here.
So what we've got in here. So the door opens freely, but is quickly inhibited by a pile of rubble and dust. Above this room is another section of the ceiling that has collapsed at this point and is basically like piled up throughout the room and right up to the door. There's literally nothing else in this room.
Jack. So Ulta will close the door and turn back to the group and say, all right, so our options are kill these guys before somebody else kills them. I'm still talking.
You can't see it, but Juno is so pleased in the invisibility.
And Ulta is saying this out loud because she now at this point knows that Icarus is somewhere in the room, even if she can't see. So she's also assuming Juno has joined, but has no idea where. So we kill them before someone else does. We spare their lives, offer them the gold to go take a vacation, and expect them to listen, and then go find Merklaw. Or we... No, I feel like that's like it.
I
I
mean,
feel like that's it too. I mean, I couldn't help but overhear that they really didn't like this job despite the pay. It was just really creepy, which I understand. It's based on, taking bodies. So I think they would be fine just leaving and probably not coming back as long as they, never saw us.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, we are in the middle of the, what is it? The great, like, where everyone's quitting their jobs. They could have very much just said good day, but I trust you. I trust you, Aster.
From somewhere in the room, Juno's voice pipes in. Yes, it would be really unfortunate if they were to speak about us.
Both of them will like get a little more wide-eyed again and start looking around.
If you ever mention any of us to anyone, and I like slowly caress the face of one of the people in the web,
He'll be like this, like. "Ugh."
I will find you. And you, and then she caresses the face of the other one. So if even one of you speaks, both of you are dead. And then Juno will just go back to slinking back into invisibility, being a fucking creep.
So they'll both actually start like welling up a little bit, and they're like shaking, and they'll both just be like,
Ulta will begin cutting them out of said web. Which, to be fair, these guys are probably horrified. Like, I'm surrounded by...
Well, they're absolutely horrified.
Yeah, like a bunch of hissing opossums at any given time. You're covered in leaves.
Yeah.
Eliseo is very intimidating.
There's
Juno.
a giant angel standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
And a disembodied voice and invisible
voices,
and the invisible caressing of both of their faces. Like, they're freaked out right now.
Yeah, we have traumatized these men. I think we're fine.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and.
To be
cut 'em
fair, they
out.
willingly accepted a job where they picked up dead bodies. They should feel haunted. That is what I and Juno
Yeah, we
believe.
made it worse.
There you go.
And we'll remove, obviously, the gags as well, and leave a few gold coins on the floor, on the table, or anywhere, and or hand it to them even, and just say, to make sure that you continue to not speak. And to maybe buy new pants.
Wow, we really did just drag them.
Yeah, you leaned into that.
Said, "Bitch, you live like this."
I'm gonna reach into the hand of like the one that Ulta just put coins in and say, "And this is the tip for letting you live," and take out 1 coin.
And as that happened, he'll like jolt back, and as if they couldn't be any more like slumped into whatever was behind them, they are like aggressively just. Imagine like a cat like going into water that definitely doesn't want to. They are just pushing themselves against whatever's behind them as much as they can, still in this like grasping whatever they had, and just frozen in their like half fetal positions.
I will begin to walk out, yeah.
Yep. I'm satisfied here. I'm just gonna leave.
All right. Anything else you're doing on the way out, or should we take you guys out?
Because Juno is actually worried about them getting tracked by this gang and stuff like that, Juno we'll get to the front doorway of the house once everyone's out, and then cast thaumaturgy to make my voice booms up to 3 times as loud for 1 minute. And I am going to scream in that same creepy voice that I used when I was in the room downstairs, to inform them that they all must leave, for I will take back my windmill this night. And just make it sound fucking haunted. Get real creepy with it, and I've got 1 minute of just pure screams and terror to just blast through the house.
So for go ahead.
Houseless folks just lose their minds.
I want them to all run away from this place. If there is someone tracking us or tracking them, I do not want them to be here. I would rather them not get killed. So I am trying to scare them all to smithereens, because that is the way I know how to handle things.
Just evacuate everybody. Just evacuate all the
Aggressive
squatters.
evacuation.
So a couple points of order. As you guys get outside, you will see that Jamna is back at her post. I forget who had seen that she was not. I think it was Juno. So you saw that she was not there when you creepily opened the door, but now she's back. And then when you yell this, you'll hear a couple of like whimpered screams from the inside, and then one singular voice will just be yelling, "Damn it, Lester, the ghosts again! Fucking fix it!"
Lester must be the worst landlord ever.
That's all I've gotten from
Can't
it.
even get rid of the ghosts.
Hearing that shout back, I just respond with, "Lester is no more. This is my estate." And then step outside.
I'm just waiting for some guy to be like, "Well, here I am."
Yeah. Where is Lester? Just going for a nice afternoon stroll. Comes back in 5 minutes.
Going to
Find
grab dinner.
Oh man, we're having a terrible time. All right, so you're out of the windmill. What's next?
I am going to turn to everybody and go, so I would assume we go take a gander at the dandy mops.
Mm-hmm.
and its surroundings.
That sounds good. Jamna, would you know anyone by the name of Murkloff by any chance?
Ooh, that's a good question. Not familiar to me.
Yeah, we really should have asked what he looked like. Oops.
Oops.
Don't really know what to do about that now. We already scared him off. Oh well.
But we do understand that he could. This is Aliseo talking, who is totally here for this conversation. But we do understand that he'll be at, or they will be at Dandy Mom's. At least by nightfall, if that's when they've been recruiting people to come drop off bodies.
Yeah, we just
We
have
could go
to
shop
keep our
around
eyes
there
peeled.
and shop around there.
Yeah, just keep our eyes peeled for anyone that looks like a necromancer.
Right.
Okay.
Juno has familiarity with necromancy. I do. Not very much, though.
Well, fair enough. I guess we should. Yeah, it's about that hour. I guess we should get over there. Here we go.
So you're heading that way. This is not meant to be leading in any way, but because you guys mentioned something about nighttime and like trying to time things, at the moment it is like late morning, midday.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys basically woke up, went to the locksmith, and then came here. So not a whole lot of time has passed. If you are intending to do something at night, you basically have the day ahead of you before that. Or you could look for the place and try to, you know, whatever you want to do, scope things out, take your next steps of action, what have you, whenever you want to. Just a point of order, it is middle of the day right now.
Yeah, well, I think we should probably go try to check it out during the day so that we're more familiar with it. Maybe scope out the folks who come and go. Maybe there's like one or two people we see who stick around regularly. Maybe send someone in to buy a dandy mop.
Aster just looks over at Icarus.
Yeah, as do Aliseo and Juno. They just turn to look at Icarus.
We could use a mop.
It's a wig.
It's a wig.
I don't need a wig.
I mean, you do have the whole disguise.
I'm so
thing
glad we all
going.
tilted our head to like the same direction too.
I mean, if you want me to buy one, I'll buy one, but I don't see the point in it.
Haven't you ever just wanted to change your hair for a day?
Yeah.
Now you can do that without
There you go.
wasting spells.
I don't waste spells, it just happens.
Now
Yeah,
you can
but-
do that without making it just happen. It's slower and more tedious this way, but it's an option.
Also, to be fair, I think weren't you the one who kind of ruined Aliseo's hair?
Yeah.
Aliseo just folds their arms.
Called
Cool.
out.
Wow.
I'm just saying maybe we need to get them like a gift.
I guess I'll do it. I guess I have no choice.
Or, you know,
always have
just
a choice.
something like a clarifying shampoo. I think that would help.
A nice purple shampoo.
Very dark.
Too bad purple's not in chat.
We will head that direction. Is there like a tavern nearby that the rest of us could sit in? Like a couple of us could sit in the tavern, keep our eyes on the front of the store.
Oh, like a
one,
scope out spot?
Like a scope out spot.
Also, should one of us, this is Juno speaking, should one of us alert the guardians of the City of Dead to inform them that our friends' ancestral bodies have all been taken. And it's their fault because they did not catch the people who did it.
Who would you like to...
I mean, I can go do that on my own. If you all want to start the scouting and the setup, I'm pretty good with the map and instructions. And I'm also the scariest one out of all of us.
Mm-hmm. We're doing a lot of things on our own in a lot of places. We should at least probably go in teams.
Or what if I send a message to... Gotta move my snacks. Oh, I didn't put her name in my notes. What was her name? Grinda?
The person who's sent you to the mausoleum?
Yeah.
Grinda, yes.
Okay. Yeah, my notes from last session are scared man on bench. So that's fun.
Hey, Grinda would probably know what to do.
I'm going to inform Grinda that her ancestors are all missing from their tomb. And that she should go scold the people who run the City of the Dead. Okay. Here we go. Hey, Grinda. You won't believe what happened last night. All of your ancestors' bodies have been taken. City of Dead did nothing. I think I've got 7 more. Go yell at them. Enjoy yourself. Bye.
Bye. Message received, first of all.
Yay, she hasn't been murdered since we left her.
Yay!
Okay. She will respond. Okay, yep, she'll respond. I had assumed some amount of risk to the mausoleum. But it's okay. I'm glad to hear back from you. Hope your group is all right. That was 25 on the money.
Nice.
Yeah.
She would have sounded sort of somber overall with that message.
Is it like text or like voicemail where you can like leave tone messages?
Voicemail.
It is voice, yeah.
Okay, just so making sure it wasn't like no tone at all, like no emotion, just don't know how to take it.
Right.
I'm going to send another message.
Okay.
No, I need you to go yell at them. They need to keep better watch. More bodies are going missing each night. Accountability. What the... And there's a sound at the end. The final word does not get all the way through.
She will respond again, and clearly in a more determined and frustrated tone. Oh, I will.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed. Mainly, I just want to alert the City of Dead that bodies are going missing, and we have proof. So, but now I will stay with the group, and we can all go scout. So as we're walking, Juno just fires off those messages into the void.
Nice. Okay, so Ulta, you were talking about this potential plan to find a spot, potentially a tavern, to stake out nearby this place. You'd know that there are plenty of taverns scattered about that district, as well as others. So the opportunity is likely available. You just wouldn't know of an exact place until you were there.
Yeah, so as we are walking, I think she would also ask the group, we should probably make sure nobody is following us still, especially the things with the eyes. But maybe a couple of us could find a place to sit, drink a cup of tea, keep eyes out while a couple, maybe one or two go inside and maybe one walks around the block a couple of times.
I think I should talk to the people inside, right?
That was the plan.
I'll come with you, LSAO chimes in.
Do they?
They do.
Okay.
Mainly because they are going to ask about like shampoos and stuff to fix their hair.
Correct. Yeah.
I think it looks good.
I don't think they were pleased.
It's my hair, so I don't know that your opinion matters here.
I'll say, what are we actually doing here?
LSAO is holding Volo's book and then just whacks Icarus on the back of the head. I feel like that's something that Niffer would approve of.
All right.
Have you been paying no attention at all?
I mean, light attention, but like I kind of had this like fuzzy phase where like I just didn't remember like the past like few missions we went on. So I know we're looking for this guy who took the
We're
stone.
looking for the
people.
necromancer named
Yes.
Volkar. Nope.
Berklaw.
He's a necromancer. He's getting bodies delivered to this establishment. I believe they said to the back door, right?
A
Or
cellar
to
door.
the cellar door.
Yeah.
Yep. Perhaps some of our other friends can look into the cellar entrance while we distract the folks upstairs.
Got it. I'm really good at distracting. And I walk
Yes.
in.
Oh, right now? Oh god, and LSAO just like runs behind.
All right. So, by the time you get there, you will find that a tavern does exist on one side of the street. On the other side, which is the place that you were looking for, you will see a rundown sign with the title Danny Mops and a crude image of a powdered wig dangling on one of two chains for a wooden sign. And the front door and windows are sort of haphazardly boarded up, and cobwebs and dust render the entirety of the front entrance.
Well, fuck. So it's just looking vacant?
Yep, and looks like it has been for a while.
Well, I'm probably not getting any shampoo today.
But it does make sense.
Yeah, especially if there's a bunch of bodies.
Yeah, if they're using it as like a, underground thing. Underground, not like actually underground, but like.
I mean, it is. It's a cellar that they're bringing the bodies into.
Well, I mean, might as well like look around, see if we can find the connection or if they're like actually receiving.
Do you want to just go look inside?
Mm-hmm.
This front area? This upstairs area?
Yeah, like there could be a connection, there could not be, so might as well figure it out.
Yeah. LSAL will try to find a way into this dilapidated building.
That sounds like investigation. You can do it.
So, make an investigation check for LSA.
I will assist.
And Jamna's going to start. Oh,
I
dang.
do not need your assistance.
Nice.
I am amazing. I am, in fact, a god.
And as
time and space.
as
Get
they
it?
do that,
'Cause I'm a
Jamna's
chrono wizard.
nice. As they start to do that, Jamna's gonna sort of like start wandering off on one of the sides as well, clearly eyeing the building up and down. Eliseo will notice that the despite the boards, the door does freely swing open, and it's not like there's a fully barricaded entrance. It's like, imagine like a single 2x4 like haphazardly anchored across the door frame, and then like maybe two on each of the windows. Like you could clearly see inside, and the door will swing open to the inside as well.
Let's go snooping.
Too bad I already used invisibility.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gone by now for everyone.
I figured. I didn't expect to be invisible. We could just walk in. I'm sure there's no one just sitting around, you know.
I'm forgetting, is Pass Without a Trace an hour?
Yes.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm going to say you have about 10 minutes of that left by this point.
Oh, shit.
Cool.
Do you think we need to stealth? Or just pretend we're customers?
Well, I mean, the building was obviously closed, so we should probably stealth.
Yeah, but I'm really dumb, so I can be a really dumb customer.
Well, let's try stealthing and then try stupidity.
Okay, I'll stealth.
Oops, sorry, that was Juno. Hold, please.
I did
Nice.
very much enjoy when you had to talk to yourself.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times. This is hard to play spouses who regularly communicate with each other. I'm doing fine.
For some
All right.
reason, D&D Beyond had to refresh, so it's loading, but...
LSAO is at 27 for stealth.
Okay. There it is,
yeah,
Icarus.
Icarus.
Dang!
35.
All right, way to slow
Again.
start, but the nat 20s are rolling now. Okay. Is everybody joining, or is it just these two? Or what's happening with everybody else?
As we walked up and saw that it was like closed down and the two of them were heading towards the cellar. I'm assuming you guys are heading in the front door looking for like a cellar door.
I think we were just heading in the front door to see if there was anything up here. Not necessarily looking for a cellar door, because I feel like cellar doors are on the outside of buildings usually. But maybe there's one inside.
Ulta was just going to take a walk around the outside of the building because they said they were left outside of a cellar door. So I was just going to check to see what that looked like around the outside before I...
That's what Juno was under the impression of as well.
You said outside the cellar door. You mean you're talking about the bodies? What they said they were doing with the bodies? I might need to correct. I apologize if this was just poor describing again on my part. They said they had to go into the cellar door and leave the bodies at the next door. Does that change your plan at all? Also, my apologies again.
That's okay. So Ulta's still gonna do a once around the building to see if there's any locked paths or outside cellar entrances or back doors, the whole 9 yards, just kind of get a lay of.
Okay. You go in the same way as Jamna or the opposite side? She started walking around one side.
Opposite?
Okay. You can go ahead and make a survival check. And then, is anybody else doing anything different?
If they're doing that, Aster is just gonna be kind of like on the outside of the building, maybe even like across the street or something, just like watching to make sure, like, I don't know, people aren't just like staring at them doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, and Juno would be in the same place next to Aster, just kind of like pretending like they're having a conversation, just talking outside this tavern and stuff like that, as two friends would. But taking the time to just kind of scan over their shoulders while they're talking.
Okay. Both of you can make perception checks, please.
Okey doke.
And then we'll skip to the folks inside. So that was Icarus and Eliseo, correct?
God, bleh.
Why can't we roll well?
I got a 10.
Icarus and Eliseo, you're both inside? Is that... Am I tracking that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Icarus
So,
and Eliseo are inside.
okay, so inside, you guys can make investigation checks as well. Sorry. Or did you do that already? No, we need
I
investigation
don't
checks.
think we did. Yep. To
Oh,
Eliseo,
sorry, I'm
shoot.
muted. I'd rather give them advantage than do it myself.
Okay.
Okay, well, it rolled twice for funsies, so 18.
All right. So you guys find inside what would be expected pretty much of an all but abandoned building that used to be a shop. You are able to see several tables lining like it's a long building going in. So you'd see a few tables lining either side of you, like display case type of tables, as you go through. The remnants of maybe a broken chair or stool here and there, and then dust and cobwebs everywhere. Much more dust than what you saw on the outside. With your 18, you'd be able to surmise that that's likely due to the powder aspect of the powdered wigs that were sold in this place. You would also notice that this inside is entirely undisturbed. You don't find any footprints, no dust wiped away in any specific places.
So
Doesn't
likely
look like
that the bodies would be outside or being dropped off like through a door that's not
you
in this
you can
space.
draw that conclusion. Yeah, it's easy enough to see that the inside has been undisturbed for quite a while, and there don't seem to be any doors or openings at any place other than a single one that goes to your stereotypical back room or office it might have been at some point, with the same kind of site.
Eliseo's just gonna check it real quick, just to see if there's a clarifying shampoo, just in case.
There is not.
Okay. Whatever.
So I'm thinking more of a detached cellar moment, you know? Do you agree?
I completely agree.
Kind of a bummer, actually.
It is.
I was kind of excited to have to, like, BS something, you know?
I'm also quite distraught that they're closed. Well, I suppose it makes sense that they're closed, and Eliseo's gonna give a big sniff to see if they can smell the scent of rot or decay,
Ooh.
like that of a body.
You can make another investigation check for that, and Icarus, you can choose to make your own or help.
Investigation? I will
Yeah.
help. I do not.
Well, it's just a shit ton. 26. Because the 18 was from before and the 16 was part of that, so it's 26 or 24.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I was wondering why there were 6 of those. Okay.
For fun. My house is broken.
Everybody's mice are just going crazy. Okay, so what you smell is a whole lot of dust and musk and moisture, like moist wood. It's clearly just like a long abandoned place. No sign of like specifically rotting anything unless it's wood.
All right, I need to leave. Too much dust.
All right.
Angel with allergies.
So then we will skip out to Juno and Aster with your...
Not great perception rolls.
Yep. Okay. So
Not great at all.
Just chilling.
Every once in a while, everybody around you can see is like moving. It's bustling. It's busy. Lots going on with a ton of people, but excuse me. You're like specifically looking for people who might be looking at or watching you guys a little too closely. You don't really get that vibe. Every once in a while, somebody will give you an awkward look, like, "What are they doing there?" But nobody gives you anything other than a passing awkward glance. So, is there anything you want to do before Eliseo and Icarus are on their way back out?
Not particularly.
Just kind of shoot the shit and talk with Astor, because Astor was always in the opposite wagon while they were traveling, because Astor was one of the fellow drivers for part of it. So just kind of like actually spend time trying to get to know their teammate a little bit better in a way that is not as creepy as it has been, because Juno is who she is in the past. I'm doing my best to adjust.
Okay.
Yeah, she appreciates that. How's your day been? That was really mischievous what you were doing in that in the windmill. I kind of joined in on what everybody was doing, and it was kind of fun. But then we like really scared them. So
Yes, wasn't that great?
yes and no. I don't know what to think about it.
They are alive, and they think they're haunted. So, that's amazing. And hopefully they won't talk about us. I like to just be extra sure about that, because I'm not going to lie. You know the joke about how a kobold, a shifter, and an angel walk into a room, right? No, it's because there isn't one. That's a very odd combination of people.
That's
You guys are
very
all
true.
very noticeable and unique.
Oh, I like that. I like that descriptor better.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Well, cool.
Good.
I wonder what
That's
they
it.
found inside.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to cut you guys off. So going back to Ulta, with your dirty 20 survival check, you'll actually notice a pretty run-of-the-mill amount of footprints, tracks all around. It's not uncommon for people to be walking in between buildings, whether it's supply folks or owners and patrons, sort of not patrons, owners and the operators, sort of like taking care of whatever maintenance is necessary, or if there is a cellar behind this building, then it might be used for storage, so people would have taken stuff back there. But you do notice a pair of track marks resembling that of a handcart. You would also notice that they go back and forth along the path that you follow, leading to and from, spoiler alert, a cellar door. It's a double door that opens outward toward you, up against the back of the building. And you would also notice that for humanoid footprints, some of them are more depressed than others, as if they were weighted down somehow.
Just weird. Don't know if it gives me anything else, but since humanoids are technically one of my favorite enemies, can I tell, like, does it look like, I mean, I know you're saying like humanoid, but does it look like a human shoe, or are we talking like something that's just walking on 2 feet?
Sure.
To like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it resembles that of covered feet, so like a shoe or a sandal. And there are 2 different sets of them.
Sounds needed, but check.
Okay. So Jamna will actually meet you by the point you reach the cellar door, and just kind of like give a shrug. guess we found it, and then start walking back toward the front.
I will follow.
All right. So everybody's coming together at the front, conveniently at the same time.
Yes. So we found the cellar, couple humanoidish foot tracks, definitely wearing shoes, smart choice. They definitely are taking a hand cart. Oh, so maybe they're just leaving them here inside. They're being dragged, and then somebody tosses them on the cart, and they skedaddle from here. So I suppose we could wait and see if anybody shows up. We could go down into the cellar. Handful of options, I suppose.
I could set a trap on the door. I could leave behind a glyph of warding, which would and explode right in their face when they opened it.
As long as we're not expecting to open it anytime soon, right?
No.
Sister, that might be a little aggressive because we don't
Plus-
know if it's. We don't know if it's the person we need or someone who needs to lead us to the person we need.
I mean, either way, people shouldn't really be playing with dead bodies.
But we might need them still. Although it does seem funny.
Well, then I'll just revive them if they die.
Does a glyph of warding kill people?
It can significantly damage them. Yeah.
It does a lot. She's done it to me before.
And look, you're still here with us today.
Motherful cleric. I don't know.
But I can, just in case, I can put a password on it that all of us know. So that way we can go past or through it without it hurting us. So I could put the glyph of warding on and we sneak inside the cellar and wait for someone. Oop, sorry, whacked my mic. Or we stand outside waiting. And if someone comes up from below when the doors open, it explodes in on them. Just in case there's someone already down there.
Do you want to know what would be funny?
Yes.
Is it like a pressure plate, or is it like a motion activated? Because like, what if they like put their hand on it and you're like, no, don't take it off. And now answer my question.
It's not like a pressure plate. I put most people, if it's two doors that are close together, we'll put it right in the center. I don't do that. I like to put it on the hinge right beneath it where people don't typically take notice. And then the whole door gets blown off too. It's just so great.
I get distracted. Were we doing it or not doing it? I forget what my standpoint was.
I mean,
Your standpoint was
into-
dangerous. I could also make it not explosive ruins. I could imbue another spell into it.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay. I could imbue the sleep spell into it and just knock the person unconscious. And that way it also doesn't make a big sound. But
What if we?
it's just
what
not
if
as fun that way.
What if we hold person?
I don't
Imbue
have
it.
that spell.
Oh,
It
does
has
that
to be
have
one
your
of my
spell?
spells. Yes.
Can't be one of my spells.
No.
That feels unfair.
Why can't you amp my spells up?
I could also do a moonbeam. And just-
Now that one I have seen kill people, so I don't know that I'm more apt to the explosion.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe something a little bit more discreet, because even if this place is abandoned, you know, there's still people around, and explosions in the middle of the night aren't really normal, I don't think. Around
That's
here, are they
true.
normal in cities? I don't actually know.
They were not in our city.
Okay.
Moonbeam
Yeah,
would cause a lot of
I don't
attention. So
know,
maybe we do
maybe-
the sleep option.
Yeah, just sleep or, I don't know, just walking in there and see what we find. Who knows?
We could.
I mean, if they're hiding a bunch of dead bodies there, they're probably gonna still be there.
Or the necromancer has already taken them. Or this is one of the entrances to beneath the city.
Could be. I guess there's only really one way to find out.
But we should actually, Aster, no, I completely agree with you now that I've got my thinking cap on. We should go in there immediately. And if there are dead bodies in there, we need to loot them for the rock, for the stone that we're looking for. So if those bodies are still there and the necromancer hasn't come visited yet, we can acquire that stone for ourselves.
If they are on the bodies, we're not entirely sure, considering.
They said they dumped like the whole pile together.
Oh,
so
okay, then maybe.
just
I
rifle
guess
through
there's only
some things.
really one way to find out.
Do we want to try to be stealthy again, or do we want to just go in guns blazing?
I'm okay with either, honestly.
Guns blazing it is.
Hell yeah.
We'll just do
Yeah,
regular old
anyone down
stealth.
here is probably going to be bad, so.
Yes.
I mean, if we just kill everyone, one of them's bound to have the stone.
You just said you didn't want to kill him.
There was a joke.
In a video game.
confusing.
You guys were talking about guns blazing. I was just joking about going with it. I mean, if they're bad, I don't mind attacking them. I just feel like there's a lot of people here that are like very questionable.
Ourselves included.
Here?
Yes.
Yeah. And Judo just points to the circle of them.
So I guess we're heading into the cellar.
We going.
All right. Opening the cellar doors. It's not locked. You arrive at a very narrow downward staircase that takes a sharp right, goes down a few more steps, and takes another sharp right. So you're able to quickly see that this is very cramped and small, but the access point you see, let's move you to this page. It's like a banded wooden door with a crudely written sign on it that says, "Sewer access authorized city officials only." What's everybody's passive perception again?
23.
15.
17.
What?
13 or 15.
Ulta was 17?
No, me.
Oh, okay.
The cleric who uses wisdom.
Oh,
Okay.
Freudian slip there.
Whee!
Juno, as unfamiliar with like cities outside of the elven civilizations that you've visited,
Yeah, elves don't poop, so I don't know anything about sewage.
but you know, despite your inexperience, this sign looks like it was kind of like haphazardly written out. It doesn't look as official as it's made out to be.
This sign looks like garbage.
I just had a really good idea.
Yes?
So if we go through the second door that they leave the bodies at, we'll just find the dude.
And?
That was the idea. I just didn't think about that until now.
Yeah, we confront him. That's that.
I thought we were just gonna wait here for someone, but I realized we can just go past that step and find him.
Look
Well.
at you using your brain.
I've got the brain cell.
This goes at a couple frames a second.
Doing its best. How dark is it in here?
It's pitch black.
Yes, very good.
Perfect.
You all receive a gentle touch on your shoulder that feels creepy because it's fucking dark in here. As Juno extends her eyes of night, giving everyone 300 feet of dark vision.
Yeah.
Nice. And you are all able to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
With your tokens?
I had dark vision anyway, but I will take that extra.
That extra 240 feet?
Yeah, exactly.
I can see the room we are in.
Okay, perfect. So as you get down here, Jamna's gonna kind of like crowd in from behind and take a look at the door where Aster's at. Hey, she'll be right. And hop over you guys to the door and start tinkering with her thieves' tools at the lock. She'll struggle a little bit. Nice.
Damn, that's rude to break into people's abodes.
But it's so exciting. Do it.
You heard the guys. Sounds like this dude is pretty nefarious. Pretty sure there'd be a handsome reward for, uncovering these schemes.
No, I know. I'm just giving you shit.
Right. And then she'll go right back at it. She'll struggle a little bit, but eventually get the lock. And with a loud, rusted iron creak, the door will open outward. As I stall while I'm working on getting this to work. There we go. Into a thin platform just on the other side. And you can see and definitely smell the small river of sewage just below it on the other side.
Who would like to lead the way?
I guess I can.
What? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I guess I will.
Okay. Sewage. I'm actually going to take a moment to wrap a scarf around over my nose and mouth.
Okay.
My token got yeeted again.
You are in the walls. Baby, come back.
Flew around the room.
It's also the worst when you get stuck in the walls. Like, you just can't get yourself out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can't see diddly and you're in the wall. And I'm like, let me out of here. Help.
Should we have more vision of, like, should the dynamic lighting be open all the way because of the night vision, or should there still be dynamic lighting happening?
So the dynamic lighting, you're able to see, but you're still limited by actual walls and barriers.
Okay.
So your line of sight is accurate.
I scooted into the sewer area.
I can.
Okay.
I just can't see where the. Oh, okay. I like couldn't see the door for a second.
Yep.
Come
so
on
the
in.
the gridded area is the actual walking platform, and then the thing that looks like a river is the flowing sewage. The walkway stops almost immediately to your right and continues to your left with a bend.
I'm gonna assume that means go left.
You're leading the way. Do so.
Well, that's why. Okay, I'm gonna look this way and see if there's anything. Like, can I see anything immediately, like around the corner? Or...
Yep. Make a.
I also lost LSAO.
Oh, that's
We can-
because I did not give you control of her on this, of them on this page. 1 second. There you go.
Yay, come with.
All right, and Jamna's bringing up the rear. Everybody make a survival check, please.
All right.
Or give somebody else advantage if you're helping / can help.
15.
Ooh.
Eat.
Oh, we're good at this.
Nice. Okay. Collectively, much to your dismay, as you get to this intersection, you realize that the few tracks that do exist very clearly stop here. The pathway does continue to the south, but tracks stop.
I know what that means, and I'm looking for a solution.
Is there like a false wall nearby or something like that that
I
air
think
could
we're
be
just-
seeping out of?
I think we're just going down the river, right?
You
So
want
we
me to
need
hop in
be-
that?
I think that's what we have to do. Let me look.
Head down Schitt's Creek without a paddle.
Literally!
Whoa!
Alyssa, would
Yuck.
you mind looking for unnoticed things for me while I get my galoshes on?
I, as LSAO, will check for like unseen doors or something like that, like looking for an airflow through bricks. Similar to how like Thorin sorted out, like because he could feel the air draft coming up, that there was a trap door on the bottom.
Okay.
I'll give guidance to that.
Thank
And
you.
Jamna will be doing the same.
Add a D4.
22. Oh, creepy sound.
That's not what I wanted. Hello?
I still can't hear mine. It's so weird.
Hello?
Hello?
Mr. Obama?
Obama.
Oh, yes.
I
Okay.
said it too many times, you all know.
I also
okay.
appreciated Chrissy yelling hello through her fingers. Hello? Very muffled, but I was like, it's there.
Okay. Definitely no secret openings, traps, or anything of the like through the area that you've been to and here.
All right, I'm gonna jump in the sewage.
Which sewage? The sewage to the right or the left? Oh, that way.
I
Okay,
guess I will
bye.
look for tracks, but I would be led to believe that this would make more sense.
We'll use the same survival roll now that you have like actually come down into the water, and you might be like sort of bracing yourself on the walls in between to waddle along against the low but current flowing against you. You would actually notice some other like smudged handprints and smears going the direction that you are going.
Yep, I might be dumb, but I was right. And I'm gonna start walking up.
As I start following, I am going to, through a disgusting bit, say, "You do realize you are the only one who continuously calls yourself dumb, right?"
Yep.
Okay.
Didn't Elseo do it earlier?
I didn't call you dumb, just your actions.
Fair.
God damn.
I'm actually gonna do myself. This is more for roleplay than for actual mechanic, but I'm gonna cast heroism on myself to walk through the mud.
Nice.
You know what? Instead, what I'm gonna do, instead of actually like being like in the sewage, I'm just gonna wild shape into a giant spider and just spider climb on the wall.
Nice.
I could do that.
Okay.
And Juno is gonna hover her way through the hall, like sitting cross-legged, and just scoop their body that way.
I love that.
Like, I don't
Awesome.
want to touch
That's so
this.
good.
Wait, you can
This is the
hover?
first time you guys have seen that she can fly. So she is just scooting.
Oh yeah, because last time you were invisible when you did it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, I will keep going.
Spider is impressed.
Spider
Oh,
can ride
cool.
on my shoulder if they want.
This is a long tunnel.
Are you a giant spider?
Aster, what's your perception as a spider? or does it? Do you keep your trait?
That is good. Hold on. I have to find it.
No, you keep your mental stats because it's wild shape.
Oh, that's right. Does that apply to perception? Can it?
I think it does.
I believe it does.
Because you keep your mind.
Okay,
You keep your
cool.
sensibilities by yourself.
Yeah, like I'm never really sure about that specific one. But my passive perception is 23.
Okay, so looks like in order, all of you, at least the first three of you going, if you're in the order that you are showing yourselves in, you would notice.
Oh, never mind.
Right here, a subtle but noticeable to you break in the structure of the stone on both sides of this tunnel.
A break in the structure of
A break, like the structure and color of the stone changes slightly.
I'm gonna poke the wall.
It starts to depress a little bit. Which one?
I apologize and ask if it needs support.
Damn it.
Sorry.
That got me. North or south?
Down.
Okay. It depresses a little bit, and you feel a small breeze of definitely fresher air coming through. The bottom of this door that you press in, by the way, is at about head height for you, and you can see that the lines go up much higher, and that like the clearance between the top of the sewage and the bottom of this now partially opened secret door is a couple feet.
Should I be doing this?
You are muted, Ulta.
You're already doing it, so
I guess I'll just try to open it then more.
why not? That's what we're here to
Oh,
do.
what if they set a trap for us?
Too late. We're going in.
That's why I'm in front.
We're already in a shit tunnel. Can't get much worse.
Juno floats excitedly, hoping to see his trap sprung on her brother.
Okay. So I'll scoot you guys to that spot essentially.
Yeah, okay.
So it's right here, like the actual square on the grid that your token is on, Icarus. The square immediately north and the square immediately south are the two that you can see. And as all of you are getting closer, actually all of you can see them.
Apparently there's a second one if someone wants to try that one right there. I'm gonna poke this one.
Well, as you do that and press this one in a little more, it starts to clear on the other side, and you can hear loud grunts and yells and the clashing of weapons on the other side. And at one point, you can all hear a strange voice scream, "Retrieve the stone, give it to me! Retrieve the stone, give it to me!" Kind of on repeat over and over and over.
Wait, that sounds important. Should we rush? And I'm gonna go out.
Before you go out, can we all just prepare things?
What?
Maybe
What
we could try this one to the south first before we go rush into a shitstorm.
And Icarus, you see bodies strewn about as you hop through the door.
Oh God. Well. You still have Gift of Alacrity, Ulta.
Check, thank you.
I'm gonna draw my bow just in case anything happens, goes wonky.
Roll a stealth check.
Roll a stealth check. Jesus.
The rest of you are getting the smell and the sewage around you. It's getting so putrid and difficult to maintain that you legitimately feel like you might start to get sick if you stay in this too much longer. What was the stealth check?
20.
Okay. So you finish pushing the door, and it kind of slides off to the side. You can hear a little bit of stone scraping on stone, but you're able to tell that it doesn't overpower the screaming voices on the other end. And as you step through, you can hear more clearly, but all of you can hear it because the door is like fully open at this point. In response to that one weird, awkward voice yelling, "Retrieve the stone, give it to me," is a cowering male voice in response saying, "Here, take it. I don't want it anymore. Just leave me alone, please."
I would like to move closer to it because that feels very important.
Okay. Let's have you
Can I
take.
tell which direction it's coming from?
Yep, it's coming from your right or southwest on the map. I'm gonna move you one square down,
Okay.
and you can see that. I'm not gonna describe it anymore. What are the rest of you doing as Icarus climbs through?
LSAO is preparing Ray of Enfeeblement.
Okay, and what's the condition in which it will trigger?
The condition in which it will trigger is if there is a creepy creature that looks like the gazers or the creatures depicted in Volo's guides around there. Because if I recall correctly, we also did talk about how LSAO got like all the information essentially of like. So just looking for something with a bunch of creepy ass eye stalks that could be incredibly persuasive and manipulate people and control them.
Okay.
So just holding that in case there's a fucking mob boss down here
Nice.
with a bunch of eyeballs.
Okay. Thank you for the raids, by the way.
Hooray.
Dorky and Bright. Just Dorky Teacher. I love that name. Awesome. Okay. Let's do this as like a semi-initiative. So Icarus is covered for the moment. Juno is covered for the moment. Ulta.
That was LSAO. Juno
sorry.
has not done theirs yet.
Okay. So let's go down the line from LSAO then. Juno, what's happening for you?
Juno is casting greater invisibility on herself, so she does not lose invisibility when she starts walloping people later.
Okay. Then
Fourth level spell.
Aster.
I'm a giant spider. I'm just crawling on in there.
Okay. And before you can do that, Ulta in front of you is...
Withdrawing at least one short sword and sighing heavily to herself. That's mostly it.
Okay, so Aster, I'm going to have you push just a smidge past Ulta, and this is what you see.
Oh, okay.
Dead bodies.
With the bodies.
And we'll come back up to Icarus. You see, actually, Icarus and Aster, I'm going to have you together since you're in the same spot, basically. Several dismembered skeletons and dead Kenku strewn about in this room. There seems to be like a trail of them going down to your east, and then you can see in the room to your west a couple of live Kenku clearly aggressing at somebody in front of them. And the voices say again, "Retrieve the stone, give it to me."
I am going to step by the bodies and then be like, ew, oh, ew, don't think about it. And I'm going to step towards the door with my bow out, and I'm going to, in my most intimidating, heroic voice possible, say, drop everything. Or I'm going to be like, drop everything. And I'm going to hold my action to shoot if anyone aggresses instead of listening.
Woo! Okay. Let's take a super short break, and we'll come back to that. We'll be right back, guys. Awkward. Oh, I got it. Okay. Cold open myself. Jesus. Hey, we're back. So Icarus just burst into the room with put him up kind of thing going on.
I should have gone gunslinger.
So both of the Kenku would whirl around and stare at you, and they would definitely move to attack. At the same time, the skeletons would change their gaze to you and kind of stay in place. So, you said you had an action held for if something aggressed you, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely happening, so you can have that held action, and now we need to roll initiative.
Ulta, you get an additional D8 to your initiative.
I need it, thank you. Yeet.
Wow, guys, great
Oh,
job.
we really want to fight.
This is what we get for being caught in a pile of shit.
The one rolled above a 15.
Oh boy.
I didn't check my roll after I rolled it. Oh, I rolled a natural 1.
Yeah.
Yep. Womp womp. But you do have a prepared action. So if it does go sideways, you have that.
All right, Icarus, what do you have?
All right, so whoever is moving towards me aggressively is getting shot. That's
Oh.
what I said I was doing.
Yes, let's do that, and then what I meant was what's your initiative, but you get to do that first.
Okay. Let's roll my attack. It's just the button. Who am I shooting, by the way?
That's up to, these two are the ones that are coming at you, the two that are closest to you.
Okay, I'll just shoot the one on the right, because easier. Does a 27 hit?
Oh yeah.
Blast him.
That is a 7, which is... It's actually... What's my charisma? So it's 4 plus... It's actually 9 because I just took archery.
Okay. All right, and then what is your initiative roll?
Natural 1, which is 6.
Okay. What did LSAO get?
LSAO is at 11.
And then Aster?
Also 11.
I will let you two decide each turn who gets to go first. Juno.
8.
And Ulta.
14.
Nice. Okay. Icarus, you got the jump on them as they whirled around at you, but then both of these Kenku are going to come at you at the same time. And they did not surprise you, so that doesn't happen. They're both going to come at you with swords. One right here, one right here. The grid's awkward, but they are able to do it. So this is going to be 2 rolls. We have a 10 and an 11 to hit. Oof.
Neither hit.
Okay. Then we are off to Ulta. You can see, or at least hear, that the Kenku are aggressing at Icarus. What do you do?
Unmute myself first, and then step into the room. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 40. I will go ahead and swing with my held short sword.
So this is narrow enough that you are not able to get into that space.
Well, shit.
You do see that there is another walkway going to the south. It's not clear until you go there whether it goes to the same area or not.
I'm not going to do that. I don't want to risk it.
Okay.
In the off chance, so I will I will put the short sword away and just do 2 regular crossbow attacks.
Okay.
And I will say, Icarus, get out of the way real quick. Just smush yourself against the wall, please. Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah, both of those hit. Okay.
10 piercing total. I keep muting myself on accident because my mouse is losing its mind.
So this first one is looking pretty rough after that.
And bonus action, I'm gonna hunter's mark him. Or, well, I can't see the other one yet. So I'll just hunter's mark this guy.
Okay.
Even if he's looking rough, I'm gonna hunter's mark him anyways. And that's a bonus action, so does that mean if I already hit him with an action, or do I have to do it first? Can I have that d6 or not? It's okay if not. I'm just asking.
I mean, we can retcon it. You don't have to do them in a certain order. So if you would have wanted to do the hunter's mark first, you could have.
Okay. So three more little pokey damage points, piercing.
All right. Yep. It's looking really rough. Anything else?
I will just turn my back a bit to make sure nobody comes up from the opposite side. So kind of attempting as much as my 3-foot-tall self can go back to back with Icarus to just have his back.
Alrighty. Then you will actually see on the south entryway a small blob with 4 eyes emerges and starts to come at you. Definitely very familiar. It's a gazer. Oh, 5 eyes. Sorry. And it's going to focus all of its eyes on you, and this little beam of energy will shoot out.
No.
How dare.
You need to make a dexterity save.
Can LSAO see this yet or no?
24.
Not yet. I would say Juno can, since you're the next one at the open doorway.
Okay.
And Aster, of course. But LSAO, no. And for everybody in chat who has not seen the gazer before, let's show you a quick image again. That showed up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
there
all
he is. Ugh. He's very small, though. So he's creepy, but he's little. Okay. Then, yeah, so you need to make a dex save. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, you saved.
24.
Okay. You are going to take half of 12 cold damage, so 6. And its eye stalks are just going to kind of like start going different directions. Like some of them at you, Ulta, and then maybe 2 of them at you, Aster, and then 1 more at the doorway as it just kind of like stares menacingly as it can at all of you. Then we're up to Jamna's turn. She's going to hear the sounds of battle. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. She can scoot through enough to get past the door. Is going to see this thing down here and be like, ah, fuck, these blokes again, and fire off a quick crossbow shot and nail it right in one of its eyes. And that clearly doesn't feel good. Then, Icarus, you are going to see these 2 skeletons like take a step forward, and with the crude weapons that they have, they're taking like a defensive, like hold the line kind of stance, and they're like, they glance at you and the Kenku, and then they like look at each other and just hold there. And then it's LSAO's turn. LSAO, you can hear the sounds of battle happening You just can't see anything unless you were to move into the right space.
Okay. LSAO will duck under their floating spouse and go in. Can they go in? Can they
Yes.
fit yet?
You would have to go. You know what, Aster? Could we
Aster's on,
say
the
you're like
ceiling or
on the wall? Yeah.
Yeah, like I've seen that anyway, so sure.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, could you imagine how terrifying that would be? This, like, stunning sun elf jumps out from like a closure that you didn't know was there, and then a big ass spider crawls in. Scary. And then I'm still playing LSAO. Gotta go back to that. Okay. And LSAO is going to cast. Where'd it go? Sorry, friends. I'm not a wizard. LSAO is going to cast Pulse Wave at the fun little friend gazer being and attempt to kind of like smash it into that corner.
Ooh.
So like walk in, get at this angle, and then send a cone from them and try to like smash this gazer into the corner with Pulse Wave.
They have to make a dex save?
Each creature in that cone must make a Constitution saving throw.
Con save. Okay. It was a 12 to save.
Does not save, so they take that.
Oh. All right.
Ooh, not a great roll. 16 points, or the gazer takes 16 points of damage, and then gets thrown into this wall.
Okay. It's going to take the brunt of this force, this pulse wave that hits it, and get smashed into the wall, and immediately just like slump to the ground. Definitely dead.
Fuck yeah. Good job, honey.
All right. Anything else?
Let's see if they have bonus actions. No, that's it.
All right, Aster, you are up.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep crawling on the wall. Go 5, 10, 15 on the wall here. And then 20. Yeah, we'll go 25. We'll just go on the other side of all of this. Be like, eh. And yeah, I'm
The
just gonna
guy
pounce
cowering in the corner is gonna be like, ah!
I'm more menacing than this gazer because I have more eyes right now. Anyway, I'm gonna attack this Kenku right in front of me. Let's see how it goes. Wait, is this? I can never tell. Is this flanking or no?
You would have to be low enough to make a melee attack that I would count it.
Okay.
Because you're on the other side of him, right? You said you
Yeah.
were going for...
So yes, that's a yes. You would count
Yeah.
it. Okay. I don't know. My brain didn't register. What are we doing for rules for flanking again? I never played
Advantage.
melee, so I'm like, advantage. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just roll twice. This. Okay, good thing we had that. That's an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
So that is a 8+3 druid probs, being that wild shape is like always custom damage. Okay, so that is 9 piercing, and I need a Constitution save.
Okay. Three.
Oh, okay, so that fails. So that is going to be 2d8 poison damage on top of that. for 9 poison damage.
All right. That was a bite, right?
Mm-hmm.
This thing slumps in your mandibles as you bite it and just goes limp.
Yeah, okay.
This one
so
did.
If the poison damage reduces the target to 0 hit points, the target is stable but poisoned for an hour.
Yup.
Even after regaining hit points, it's paralyzed while poisoned is away. Oops. Oops.
All right. Anything else?
I do have an extra action from Turk. I'm just gonna go ham. I'm just gonna go full spider mode here. We're gonna go to this next one and do the same thing. So let me 20 plus 5. This is not going to be flanking, unfortunately, but that's still a 21 to hit.
Definitely hits.
For a d8, 3, so that's 5 damage, and I need another con save. Also, that cat. Oh my god.
Whoops. Con save. 8. Holy cow.
Oh, it still failed.
Yep.
The DC's only 11. That's 9 poison damage.
All right. He's definitely not looking good.
All right, that's all I got.
Okay, then we are to Juno.
Woohoo! Juno is going to. How well lit is this room?
It's basically nothing.
Okay, so still kind of dark.
Yes.
Hell yeah! Okay, then I'm just gonna. I can get to here while flying.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get there. And I'm gonna take out my beautiful warhammer. And as a bonus action, before I strike down with my warhammer, I'm going to call forth my spiritual weapon.
Ooh.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Just a real quick glance. This person that looks like they're holding something. Does it look like they're holding a stone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I am going to bring my spiritual weapon directly in front of them with like the moon scythe kind of like towards them, like towards their throat, but not pressing into it. And then I'm gonna wall up this Kenku. I feel bad about it, but they attacked my brother.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Do it. You said you put the moon scythe like right in front of him?
Yeah, it's like kind of pressing into his throat a little bit.
Okay.
Warhammer smash? Warhammer smash!
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yee, 4.
All right.
4 whole damage. I'm so strong.
Flavor the demise of the final Kenku.
While the hammer is going down through the Kenku, I'm not really caring about that as much as I am about the stone in the corner or in the back of the room. And I just shout, "No! Give me the stone!" And the scythe just like kind of gently presses into this guy's throat, but non-lethal, just scare damage, not ouchies.
I need to move this. The last Kenku falls, and these two skeletons are going to give another look at each other, and then behind them, seeing the weapon pressing against him, look at you again and like maintain a sort of.
I'm invisible.
Oh, that's right. They're looking at Icarus.
Do all the things.
Icarus and Aster, and maintaining this like defensive stance. Definitely difficult to read because they're skeletons, so no like facial expressions or anything like that. But they are notably not aggressing in any way. and he's just going to, blather out at you. Who the hell are you? Why do you want the stone too?
That's not important. We're retrieving it and returning it to the rightful owner.
Who's the rightful owner? These guys think it's Xanathar. I don't want anything to do with him anymore.
Well, it's no one else in this room. It's not even us, technically, but we're bringing it to the right person. So give it to us, or perish.
Fine. And he'll toss it to you.
To my disembodied voice?
Like that direction.
I catch it.
You catch it?
And now there's just...
Okay.
Anything I touch is also invisible.
As you catch it, you feel a jolt. And in your hand, for a brief moment, you see a large oval-shaped blue stone with 3 depressions in it resembling eyeballs. And you black out for a moment.
Cool.
And hear
Love that.
a creepy voice.
Yes.
You now possess Golorr. What is it that you seek?
Well, I kind of like to know where Volo is. I think that's a part of our duties. But also, how to take down a cult would be cool. I don't know. Where's Volo?
I have no knowledge of Volo.
What do you have knowledge of?
As you ask that question, your vision is going to burst into this bright white void. And you get this sensation.
Bright light. No, I just...
You get this sensation that you are completely submerged in water, and you're just kind of floating there. And in the white void in front of you, you see this image swirl in the distance. Oh, shoot. Can I show you this? Let's find out.
Show me.
I can show you this.
Show us the boy.
I would like to see the baby.
There he is.
As this thing swims in a sort of swirling shape toward you, and then as it gets like right into your face, it stops, bares its teeth, and its tentacles sort of like float in the watery like area around the both of you. Oh, I showed you the whole thing and not just the handout. That's fine. Not a big deal.
I'll just look at the pictures then. I won't scroll anymore.
So you said what was the exact question you asked again?
What is it that you know about, or what do you have knowledge of? Because he said he had no, or they said.
Yeah. Okay.
This being said they had no knowledge of Volo, and I don't know how to ask them for help if I don't know what they can help with.
Okay. Without
I corn dog, and also the one who is responding like Juno is enthralled by this creature.
Okay. It sort of swims at you and then like bares its teeth and shows its tentacles, and you get a series of images flashing, and you would, without speaking, it doesn't speak to you, it just shows you a series of images, and then you would understand. First you see a large ornate theater in an area that you recognize as Waterdeep. So there's a theater in Waterdeep, and you take a sort of visual, as if you're in a body walking into the front door of the theater. You take a hard right, walk through a hallway. You can hear a performance happening in the main auditorium of the theater. You walk down a side hallway, you take a left, walk down another side hallway, and go into a small closet that has a very well concealed trapdoor underneath a rug. just in this like nothing corner with nothing around it. And a hand, presumably yours, reaches down and opens it, and a flash of gold erupts out of it. You would understand this to be the vault. The very vault that you are looking for. You would also, after that, see an image of a humongous, tremendous, beautiful golden dragon that stares you in the face, opens its maw and seems to swallow you, and then flashes to an image of an old dwarf that you currently do not recognize. But he is incredibly decorated. He's got gold, everything from his headdress to some decorations around his beard. He's got like full armor and a large hammer, all of like ivory and gold. And he winks at you. And then you like flash back into your body, and now you're here in this room holding a stone, and you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That sounds stupendous.
You could swear that something just happened, and just as fast as it did, you remember nothing. The rest of you saw Juno catch this stone and have like a jolt as if she got electrocuted. And now she's just blinking around and looking at you with a look of confusion. Oh, she's invisible. Sorry. That's right. You didn't see anything. Yeah, that makes it even better.
That's awful.
You didn't see anything. So this person threw the stone. It's now hovering in midair. Juno, all that stuff just happened, and you legitimately, like, keep the notes, DM to player, keep the notes. You don't remember any of it. That's where we're going to end tonight.
She touches it, so we don't see the stone.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it doesn't.
She used greater invisibility.
Oh, she did use greater invisibility? Okay, then it does happen. That's where we're going to finish the session tonight.
Oh, God.
Juno, you would know that you have the stone and everything. The only memory you lost was of the vision I just described. You remember everything leading up to that point. So, the Stone of Golorr is found.
Does it feel like there's a spot of fog?
What do you mean? Oh, yes. Like you have a memory
like
you're
someone
having.
that has had a traumatic brain injury.
Right.
Like, I know that there's spots that are missing. Does it feel like that? Like, does it feel like there's a fog? Like I'm missing something?
Yup. You've
put my tongue on it.
You've had an experience, and for whatever reason, you legitimately cannot remember it.
Sick.
Yep. All right. So that's where we're cutting off tonight's session. We'll pick back up there in 2 weeks. So this has been another episode of Tyranny of Dragons. Or Queen's Gambit, a Tyranny of Dragons campaign, and we'll go around the table one more time and remind everybody and inform our new people from all the raids of who we are, what are our characters, and where can we find you. Starting with Sir Heckalot.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's me, Sir Heckalot. Tonight I played Aster, the Circle of Wildfire Shifter Druid. You can find me on all the social medias at Sir Heckalot, including our lovely Discord that you should definitely join. You have a great time in there. In terms of where you can see me next, I have a pretty quiet month this month, so it's just every other Tuesday and Thursday during Module Week for right here with Tyranny of Dragons, as well as Odyssey of the Dragon Lords on Tuesdays, as well as every other Saturday doing Seven Suns over at Neon Lights Roleplay. Although I don't entirely have all the details yet, but I might actually be in one of my favorite streamers' first D&D experiences on Sunday, but we'll see how that goes. Don't know yet, but I really hope to be part of it because it's going to be very cool. And I think that's all I got. Moving on over to Hyacinth.
Hiya, I'm Hyacinth. I played, the Elven Bardlock. I alternate this campaign with my Wednesdays in Henshin Go playing the brand new Power Rangers. Wow! I'm still way too excited about this. That was literally my childhood, so come in next Wednesday to see me on that. Yeah. Next.
It's me, twin number one, Corndog McGraw. I am on the internet as that or Coach Corndog, depending on what your interests are. And you can find me here on Sunday morning, where I will once again be playing Roscoe Jenkins, the barrel-chested man, trying to keep Hellstone out of the mouth of Luca Locke's character. She keeps licking it. So we're having, come check it out. Bad things happen when you ingest Hellstone, so come find out what things are happening to us. And then catch me again here 2 weeks from now, but the Sunday after that. I'm so excited. The 21st, you will be seeing the start of a Lord of the Rings short series done by Fazul. And I'm so excited to be a part of it. And I will be playing a dwarf. So come hang out. I'm going to have some pretty great eyebrows. I've already been practicing my braiding skills. Maybe I'll even have a beard or a mustache. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm a dwarvish person, and I'm fucking excited. So, yeah, that's me. Over to Chrissy.
Hi. I'm Chrissy Kritz. I played Ulta, our Kobold Swarmkeeper Ranger. You can find me here every other week on Tuesdays and Thursdays in various modules. This one and our Oats Are Warm on Tuesdays. Then you can find me on the third Monday of each month. In Madness Calls It Forth, our City of Mist propers mishmash of the Knights of Paintown that if you have not been following it, he's going hard in the paint as far as like clues and hints and websites, and we've got phone numbers you can call if you want to chit chat with people and go to group therapy. It's pretty intense. It's a lot of fun. So if you like escape rooms, it's like an escape room, but on Twitch. And then this Saturday I'm in a one-shot that the lovely Sarah Franco is DMing with Last HP, Luca Locke, myself, and Proper Nerdy. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. I'm not going to list it all. I am now also a Jasper's Game Day ambassador. So if you're interested in that, go check them out. They do amazing things. I'm sure Niffer would also appreciate that shout out because they are also a Jasper's Game Day ambassador, and it is very important. So the more people talking about it, the better. That's all.
All right, and once again, I'm That Magic Juice. I have the pleasure of running this lovely game, and I will say the signature line: if you think you know the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, I promise you've never seen it done like this before. So we will come back to this mysterious little encounter and the aftermath of it next time, 2 weeks from now. You can find me also running another D&D campaign on my own channel every other Sunday, so not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that, the same week that we have this campaign coming back. And this is the time that I am officially going to announce that I'm also running another high-level one-shot with TPK Roleplay on Wednesday. It's the day before this. So Wednesday the 17th, with a few very talented and exciting and fun individuals. So if you'd like to see my sort of take on some very homebrewed messes of monsters and creatures for a level 15 one-shot, it'll be right here on that evening. So we'll see you then. I'm excited about it. But I think that's it for us tonight. If nothing else, we'll see you here again in 2 weeks. Stay cool.